never been in their tribe. I have no business doing this with them. The fact that it's like a human and has a thumb and opposable fingers, it is kind of stirring and disturbing, but you also realize that this is life for them. And this kind of goes back to your point earlier. And I'll add this as humbly and as respectfully as possible. When I think about food choices that we make as humans, I'm reminded of a book that I read when I was younger. It's called The Tracker by Tom Brown. And he tells a story in the book of being apprenticed to this Apache Indian elder who was teaching him sort of these Native American ways. And he tells a story of killing his first animal when he was 9 or 10 years old. And it's a lame deer that he's killed by himself with a knife. He brings it back to camp and he's weeping. And this Apache and Native American says, "Why are you crying?" And he says, "Because I killed this animal." And I'm paraphrasing from the book, but this has stuck with me. So the response from this elder was, in order for something to live, something else must die. This is the way of life. When you understand that the life in a blade of grass is the same, and it's all kind of this life force, you'll understand this. And the goal is to be respectful of the things that you're using to fuel your life. So even when people want to eat plants and they believe that the plants are resulting in less death, I think that it's interesting and important to really look into that and understand all of the ecosystems that are disrupted by the plants that we eat, all of the bikills, all the moles, the voles, the beavers, the snakes, the rabbits. There are literally tens of thousands of lives that are disrupted, that are displaced, that are killed when we're plowing a field to grow plants. And so I think that if we want to live on this earth as humans, and I feel like you especially illustrate this, we have the ability to do a lot of good in the world as humans. We have to accept that in order for something to live, something else must die. And when I think about the choices we make in terms of food quality, I believe, and this is just my belief, that by eating meat and organs, we're giving our bodies such unique nutrients that allows us to do the best work in the world, allows us our brains to function well, allows us to be strong and protect our families. And so I believe that we have this purpose on earth to do good in the world, and that none of us should be, I think, ignorant to the way that we affect the world. We're all responsible for ending life. And it's just how we choose to use that gift that we're given as we get the chance to live and do things in the world.
Those are excellent points, Paul, and it's to a degree exposes that sometimes
all right, that's my next title.
Pose of morality when what we are in fact discussing is sentimentality rather than true morality. That the consequences of the food systems and how they're economically undergirded is not free from a negative impact, exactly as you've described. And this ideology of non-separateness, acknowledging a continuum of life beyond materialistic, individualistic, solipsistic obsession with the role of humans and our sort of supremist kind of position in hierarchies even beyond the food chain and in sort of ultra civilized social systems. It protects us. It protects us in sort of a kingdom of folly from the consequences of our actions. And yeah, you present some really interesting arguments, but what I also got from listening to that hunt is when it came to the crunch.
You're in the Monroe area?
You floundered and you scampered and you got in the way. You dropped the bow and arrow. You squealed.
Yeah, that's pretty much all we're hiding for right now.
You probably distracted them from a
which chef are you thinking about?
Nourishing meal. But it's time now to put your
have you worked there
testicles
before?
back in your pants.
Yeah,
the sun has got its hat on, and your balls should have their pants on, because this is an important moment in our show, and it's as indigenously wonderful as any native ceremony you might have experienced.
Okay, what's your last four?
Oh, well, that was a shock.
That's when Gareth asks the question that happens, Paul, and here it comes, look.
Paul, no, I was really interested. I mean, you've raised some amazing points, and I've recently started eating meat again myself due to a lot of the things.
When were you going to tell us?
Well, I was hiding it from you.
You bastard! What have you been having?
For these very reasons.
No, you've just heard that. What's next? You've been out kicking a baboon. I went down London Zoo yesterday and kicked a baboon up the bollocks. It's the only way that I could ensure myself a full head of hair. This is outrageous.
I've started to reintroduce some meat into my diet.
Howdy.
For
yes.
You didn't know them reasons.
Welcome. Well, you have a seat at the great table there.
All day long.
As soon as I
Young
get
Putin.
What's young Putin be saying?
He's
You've
a-
got
the
to
storm
release this.
settled, I'll be
He
able
loves
to.
Paul.
Um,
Paul's a god to him.
Is he?
Yeah.
Young Putin's in there, Paul. He loves you. He looks like Putin, the Russian leader,
Yeah, it was
when he
back
was
in
a young
November.
man. Like he's a dead ringer for him. He's well into your gear.
Yep.
He loves it. He's sat there now sucking on a baboon's butt simply to impress you. That's before he knew it was nutritious.
All right, well, let me shoot Carrie an email and make sure it's okay to bring you back. I don't see anything negative here, but sometimes
is,
I forget to note that stuff.
kind of the best that you can.
It's always
get,
going to be up to
and
her
it's
anyway.
important.
So
When it comes to
I'll shoot her an
people,
email.
obviously, that comes with a
If you
certain
want to give me a,
expense to it, you know, grass-fed
well,
meat,
either way,
quality
I can
meat
at
that
least
you-
get you
that you
set
ideally
up
want
to
buy. What
get
if
ready.
you can't afford
Would you
that?
be able to come in
What
tomorrow at
about
1
people
p.m.?
who want to, you know, get the
All
same
right,
kind of
you know the
quality
offices.
meat,
as
but they have to like
soon
go
as
to
this
the shop
program
to buy
finishes
it. Like,
up, then I'll
what's
be able
your-
to see
can
if
you
I
get
have you up to date.
Paul, what you
And
going to
then
do
we'll
about
go.
that now, Paul Saladino? What they got to do? Stick their bum out the window and see if they can get some vitamin D up the rectum. You think you've got an answer for everything, don't you, Saladino? Well, he's got you, hasn't he? The lad from Hull, he's flummoxed you. It's privileged elitism. We can't all go off and live with a tribe, annoying them by ballsing up an important hunt. Can we? Some of us
No.
is down Lidl, down the middle aisles, eating brains faggots.
So this is a really interesting point. So let's just make sure people understand what grass-fed meat means. So I want to be clear that I stand with you guys shoulder to shoulder and not being a fan of industrialized agriculture for animals, whether it's chickens or pigs or cows. I think clustered animal feeding is not the way that we create healthy ecosystems.
It looks like all we
for those
had was
animals,
an
not the way that we
ID, so
create
we
the
will
healthiest
need
animals.
either
And it certainly isn't good for those
bushel
animals'
or
welfare and life in their
birth
lifespan.
certificate.
But when you've seen a
one
grass-fed
of
and
those.
grass-finished cow, that's a cow that's basically on a pasture its whole life. And I've
Do you
been
have
to
a
a lot
social or
of
a
farms.
birth
I'm fortunate
certificate?
to be with a lot of
We're gonna
really
need
cool
you to get one of
farmers
those.
that I've learned a lot from because I grew up in the suburbs.
It's going to
of
be
Northern
required.
Virginia.
They're
You know, I'm
really
not a farmer.
cracking
I'm not
down
a
on
Hodgson
the
hunter, as
I-9
Russell has
verification now.
clearly
So,
outed me for.
uh,
But when you're with
as soon as you have one of those, we can all set up an appointment for you to come in.
They're eating grass. They're healthy cows. They eat grass for their whole life.
Yeah,
They're
that's.
meant to eat.
I mean, if it's going to be
Like
an
all
over the
other
table
species on the
job,
planet,
you
I
have
think
to.
that cows have a
pass an I-9
species appropriate diet,
verification.
and I think humans in some ways have a species appropriate diet. So I think that
Right.
it's clear that grass feeding, grass finishing of cattle is good in so many ways. Good for the cattle, good for their sort of their being while they're alive. They have this happy, healthy life, and all animals die eventually, right? If they're in the wild, they're killed by a predator. These cows are just safe and they get to eat grass and they're healthy their whole lives. It creates healthier meat free from pesticides and other things that come with grain feeding at the end of a cow's lifespan when it's in a clustered animal feeding operation. And from an environmental perspective, if you look at the carbon emissions, if you want to get that granular, we know that this way of raising animals, especially regenerative raising, where they do rotational grazing of these animals, is actually carbon negative or carbon neutral. So there's so many reasons to eat grass-fed meat. It's nutritionally better. It's free from pesticides and mold toxins that come with the grains. And from an environmental perspective, if that's something you get wrapped around the axle about, if you're worried about carbon emissions and these kind of things, it's clearly beneficial. Now, for some people, the grass-fed meat is more difficult financially. I'd say it's probably 20 to 40, maybe 50% more expensive. I want people to not let perfect get in the way of benefits. And so if someone can't afford grass-fed meat, get the meat that you can afford, because I do think that even though we know that a grain-fed animal is not ideal from a lifespan perspective, from a life cycle perspective, it's still going to have lots of good nutrients. It's still going to have the taurine and the Flavor Flav and the Tina Turner that we talked about earlier, Russell. And you know, it's going to have these unique nutrients that are hard to get other places. And then I think that people can start to make these calculations in their mind. For me personally, I can't think of anything that's a better investment than quality of food for you and for your family. But I'm going to let everyone else listening to this make their own decisions in terms of how they use their finances. Maybe they want to spend it on
You're going to get a bow and arrow. You're not going to get a bow and arrow and go around their house and spangle it off in the wrong direction, telling them that it's Paul Saladino's way or it's the highway. Oh, we're allowed to make our own choices. You're not going to march us into McDonald's and make us sup down a pint of cow fat with a straw.
No. You know what's interesting about McDonald's, though, and a lot of these fast food places, is that even at McDonald's, and I've done some content about McDonald's and how bad their French fries are, how many ingredients, and how bad their food is. But you can go to McDonald's in terms of like getting food availability. Their quarter pounder is 100% beef. They don't have any additives in their quarter pounder, and they don't use seed oils to cook it. So it was interesting, you know, when we were in Austin, I wanted to talk to some of the homeless people and ask them, like, how much money do you get like asking people per day? You know, you can get a 4 quarter pounders at McDonald's for $6 to $7. And that's for someone who has no stove and no way to cook. You can get 100% beef. Now, is that the ideal way to get beef? No. Is that the ideal beef? No. But the accessibility is there. And even in like the fast food joint that is the epitome of probably many causes of our health problems today, there is an ability to make a less bad, potentially even reasonable health choice in terms of high quality meat.
Dr. Paul Saladino, Thomas Beard in our locals chat says, have you ever tried any plant-based food, or do you think it's beneath you, you heartless monster? No, I added the last bit. He just said, have you tried any plant-based food?
You know, I was a vegan once, Russell. I was a vegan. I was a raw vegan for 7 months, probably about 14 or 15 years ago. And I would go to my local grocery store and buy 2 heads of kale per day. So I'd walk out with 6 heads of kale. And this cute girl at the grocery store says, what is that for? And I said, well, it's for my smoothies. And I made these huge green smoothies. So I've been down the vegan path myself. Like I said, I respect people's autonomy and their ability to make these choices. I just believe as a physician and from a scientific perspective that there are better choices for human health that can be made ethically and morally as well. So I've been there. I haven't tried any of the vegan burgers. Every time we do content on any of this stuff, my whole team is trying to like, just eat some Beyond Burger. And I just won't do it.
Why, Paul?
Because I know what's in the ingredients, Russell, and I worry a lot of these plant-based foods contain seed oils, which are something that I have a major problem with. I don't think it's healthy for humans. Things like corn, canola, sunflower, safflower, soybean oils. I'm not convinced that I want to get leg hemoglobin, so like fake hemoglobin in my diet. A lot of the plant-based burgers contain cellulose, which can be problematic for the human gut. So I look at this food and I think it's not healthy for humans. And if someone is really feeling a pull from the deeper regions of their brain to eat meat, that's probably an evolutionary signal that you need those nutrients.
I have a study here from Johns Hopkins University, and it says that when Paul Saladino says the vegan pathway, he's referring to his own anus. Is that true?
Yeah, it was nice to have the air up.
Of course it's true. It's Johns Hopkins. How can I debate that?
Can't debate Johns Hopkins. Paul, thank you so much. What an amazing conversation. What a fantastic perspective. So much to think about. Let's stay in touch. I think we've already got each other's emails now, and we'll communicate or get it off bear or something.
I so appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much for having me on. I hope it's valuable for you guys.
Oh, you're just lovely to talk to. You're lovely to talk to. You're a delight. Thank you so much. You can find out more about Paul at home.
I mean, I do have a little heater under my desk for the winter time.
And download the Paul Saladino podcast, which I reckon is
the ambient temperature in here
is so
lovely, isn't he?
So knowledgeable.
Have either of you worked with us before?
He's nearly killed a baboon. He was trying to march the homeless into McDonald's. There's nothing better we can do with our lives than
both of these
go
are
in
pretty
there and
old.
start eating.
The internet's nice and fast here, but when you click on things here, guess what?
About that.
4 pounds, he says, beef patties. He's sort of got a very open,
when they were
kind
built in
face.
London.
So nice.
I really liked him.
The murderer.
He's a monkey murderer. He'll
Can I use my
as
phone?
soon as look at it.
You want to?
Shoot it out of trees.
IES core got back. If you want to get on the Wi-Fi,
Snakes, a furry
you may need it.
giraffe tongues. They may look like velvety,
I have
but they're actually delicious. You can't actually survive unless you snatch a giraffe's tongue, wrap it around your fist, and yank it out of the giraffe's head. It's the only thing you can do for your children. Otherwise, it's responsible. I like Paul Saladino a lot. That was a good guest, man. It's funny, isn't it? Because sometimes you like. Well, I'm not going to say that.
No, save it for.
Right. So, hey, listen, we've got some fantastic people coming up this week. We've got Dr. Peter Attia talking about longevity, testosterone, and that's fucking usual on the show.
You'll do the mobile here too, just because it's lighter on the
That's all
computer.
that we're talking about. What's going on? Click the red button to join our locals community.
No, I can view your screen from over here, so this part that we'll be able to tell. When you get to the point where it asks for your education and your
we do regular meditations that are bespoke and guided. What's the matter?
Because I've been pretty much stay at home mom.
Well, it's just it's not necessary for this.
Well, that's a lovely thing to say.
So what's the
What are
problem?
you gonna do
You
here?
look like Liam Hemsworth.
Food production. Now this building here is just to make plants for main facility over
You look like Liam Hemsworth. Leave Gal alone, says Jim Earth C137.
It's
Paleo and
packaging
happy medium.
Nice.
Rubbish.
different
Anyway, listen,
baking mixes. They
you might be
do
wondering.
nothing is cooked or anything. It's
Oh,
everything's
We're really out.
Testosterone.
now first shift goes from 5 a.m.
Made up. Hunter, you know Hunter Biden Gal?
No, I do, yeah.
Well, that's the
Yeah,
greatest
hunter
needed.
and gatherer.
Awesome.
Ooh.
That's what we need.
Okay.
That's good to hear.
And
Say that he's
once we get through the process, I'll let
You may think
Yeah,
there's
no, no.
nothing more
It's
noble
always
than being
because
a
we're
hunter.
probably
Well,
Ohio
I'll show
region.
you one hunter who gatherer contracts with Barisma what ain't right. And what then he wouldn't even have got him if it weren't for his dad helping him out
Well,
with
that's
him behind the
right there.
scenes to shout him down a speakerphone.
Well, no, I mean, for folks that want to work, though.
Testimony.
I mean, we get a lot.
If
It's
these words are to be
the younger
believed,
kids
then
that
shit,
these days.
dog.
It's just
Something can
most of
rotten
them,
in the state of
once they
Denmark.
find out that
That's
there is a
right,
little
it
bit
bloody
of
well will.
labor
How
to
can a
it.
special counsel that
Are we losing
bargained him a
huh?
plea deal be in
Right.
charge of
Yeah.
the investigation with new powers? Shit off, you pigs. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, if you're I mean, and the goal is to get you hired in there. And then believe me, it's not a bad gig. The majority of people that are hired in there started in this position right now.
What's the role?
Rogan says
They're starting as 14, but there is $1 an hour perfect attendance bonus as well.
But the investigation's being done by the
And as
people
like I said,
that
that's
are
just
doing
the
it
start,
anyway and
so-
haven't found anything so far.
You move up into a machine operator, a line lead, forklift, or anything like that.
Thus, we have Joe Rogan claiming that the Biden family are definitely corrupt, that there's sufficient and significant evidence.
They're always looking for folks to put in
I'm
those
not gonna lie,
positions.
I've never really asked me a lot. I always look
And
at
that's fine too, because there's lots. There's a lot. I mean, it's an thing is even if you've worked in food industry before, this is different because food manufacturing is a lot different than preparation.
Right, and I've only ever
investigate with the same
Okay,
rigor
well,
and
it's
forensic tenacity that Trump's business endeavors and indeed other escapades are being investigated.
Joe Biden's been a goof his whole fucking career. He's always been a goof. He's been caught lying so many times.
Yeah.
He's so full of shit.
You worked at Hearthside? Yeah, now they do the baking there. So we actually used to hire for them.
Because of channels like Joe
So
Rogan.
you may actually be in our system.
Channels ranging from hardline investigative channels.
Okay, well then hang tight. Let me reset your login because it's not going to let you create a new one. Yeah. I'm glad you said that because
report on
yeah,
now, a politician who's
yeah, it
been in
was.
Congress their whole life, been through all of
We
those
still hire
issues,
for them in
like,
Macomb,
they're
Ohio.
gonna be exposed if they've done
And
anything
then
wrong ever. One
just
thing
west
for
of there
sure,
at,
these kind of institutions and these kind of political figures
Michigan
can't
City.
survive in this kind of media environment.
And,
That's why this media
Kentucky
environment I believe, is being manipulated, managed, and changed so that you simply can't discuss this stuff. The mainstream
It's up to
media,
you.
you'll notice,
Well, I
don't
mean,
talk
yeah,
about
you
Hunter
show
Biden the
initiative
same
and
way
in your attendance
Joe
and good.
Rogan does. That's because they are
It's not
still
hard to
managed
move
in
up
the
fast.
traditional way. Presumably, if social media,
I mean, they're
sites
looking for
like
that,
Twitter
basically,
were
the folks.
infiltrated by the
So
FBI,
is it,
presumably mainstream media, legacy media
Go ahead.
organizations have relationships. You saw how they towed the line during COVID. You've got to do what's best for the country. Well, you know what they think is best for the country. Democrat government,
That's fine.
Biden as president.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I mean we're not going to mail you anything other than your W-2, and you'll be able to get it online, exactly. And it'll be through the same website you're logging into now.
So willing to say, hold on a minute, this looks
Let me pull you
like
up.
corruption.
We'll get it
There's
set up
so
for you.
much evidence he's corrupt, just undeniable evidence of corruption. And the stuff with him and his son, and then the guy who just testified that was business partners with Hunter,
Yeah.
who talked about all the different things that Joe was involved with.
Evan Archer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking undeniable. The fact that that mainstream news
They just show up every day and
except
on time.
for right-wing
Get-
media.
No, every week.
Crazy.
They reset. So if you have a bad week, it's only that week.
Basically, wherever.
That's what they used to do is they used to do a gift card, a Kroger gift card if you had perfect attendance. But that was only like a $20 gift card. So this is 40. I mean, if you think about it, it's an extra $1 an hour.
We didn't talk about it enough at the beginning.
When they need to do it. Right now, I'm keeping enough people there where they don't have to. And believe me, with 10-hour shifts overtime, you get burnout. We lose people. Yeah, they're 10-hour shifts, so it's 4 days a week. So you get a 3-day weekend every week.
Consider it to be their duty to display ongoing.
Now, which day it's going to be will be up to them.
That just, I think, continues to diminish trust. Let's have a look at this in more detail. Joe Biden's son
Gotcha.
Hunter will now be investigated by a special counsel with additional powers. The U.S. Attorney General has been announced. What's the first investigation meant? Look, investigate Hunter Biden, but don't try very hard. Don't use all of your powers. Just use a little bit of power. Let's see now how professional the mainstream media are, how they're better than us, and see how the representatives of the government speak in a clear and candid way that definitely isn't obfuscating, confusing, hypocritical, and sometimes just untrue.
This is a CBS News special report. I'm Margaret Brennan in Washington. We are coming to you on the air to bring you an announcement.
Everything about it actually is just grandiosity. This is my name. I'm in Washington, CNN. We are coming to you.
From the Department of Justice. Attorney General Merrick Garland is making a statement.
Ooh, a statement. Ooh, let's pull down our pants. It's a statement. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
And is making some detailed remarks that we will bring you in a moment.
Are you just filling now?
What we know is that it has to do with President Biden's son, Hunter Biden. Let's listen in.
Let's listen in. Put a glass up against your TV now. This is good. Let's put a string in a paper cup. Then your friend has another paper cup at the end. What is this? It's like children's television.
Good afternoon. I'm here today to announce the appointment of David Weiss as a special counsel.
And now he's doing it. Everything's paraphernalia and empty ceremony. Like everyone's behaving like what they're doing is really important and significant. But I think you guys are ready for the news done by a man in a leopard print dressing gown, right? Let me know in the comments.
I have today notified the designated members of each House of Congress of the appointment.
Actually, it looks like you started. You weren't in here previously. You must have not been through us out there.
Mr. Weiss, in his capacity
this is actually
as U.S. attorney, and along with federal law enforcement
like it was just started and then
began investigating allegations of
so most of the
criminal
information is in
conduct
here.
by, among others,
Just have you update
Robert
everything.
Hunter Biden.
They've been doing this investigation for 6 years. They've got zero evidence of criminal behavior.
You
They've
still
got a
at
paper
Newport?
trail that leads them to Burisma. They've got Joe Biden letters saying, "Oh, hope it goes
What
well,
is the-
Devon," to his business partner. And they actually are only just learning these names not even
zip
Hunter
code
Biden.
there.
We've been working on this 6 years on the Hunter Biden case. This just in. That isn't his name. That's the end of the investigation. Thank you.
That investigation.
I'm gonna need another 6 years. I was looking into someone
That's
called
okay.
Hunter Biden. He's called Robert Biden. All of this was about something.
Yeah, that's your
He
idea.
owns a laptop company and sell. Oh no, that could be him.
This appointment confirms
That's
my
frightening.
commitment to provide Mr.
48166.
Weiss all the resources he requests. It also reaffirms that Mr. Weiss has the authority he needs to conduct a thorough investigation.
This is a really weird
Yep.
news, isn't it? Like about Mr.
Yep.
Weiss. Like Mr.
In fact,
Weiss,
you are.
this time we are going to let him have proper powers.
Pretty confident we're gonna
Last
do
time
something
we
like
told him investigate very, very slowly. Doesn't it make you feel that the machine
Right.
of government is about providing the appearance of authenticity and transparency rather than authenticity and transparency itself? And aren't you now learning how to?
So it's going to be your login is just going to be your first name dot
Things
last
like Joe
name.
Rogan, based on the fact that whether you like him or agree with him, you kind of trust that.
So
he
just
will
do
tell you
employee
the
login.
truth. And indeed, political figures like Trump,
And then
who
just hang it
plainly
tight. Let me
says
finish
things that are
doing
not true
this and we'll
sometimes,
do
but
this.
so overtly that compared to other political figures,
First name
that
dot last name.
investigate and engage in such sophistry. Well, actually, the investigation's being ongoing. Well, at the time, I believed it to be true. Well, that's not actually. You know, we're so used to a kind of
And then the
odd,
password will be
boring, tedious,
as it is on the
ongoing,
paper up here on the wall. It
complex
says
set of
password
lies.
is temporary
When
or
people
the,
just
with a capital T
complain to
temp.
us, we go, "Oh,
1,
God,
2,
all
3
right, you
exclamation
then."
point.
To continue to take the steps he deems
Yep.
appropriate independently, based only on the facts and the law. The men and women undertaking this investigation,
See, I said men and women. Do you see how far we've come?
who have dedicated their careers to protecting the citizens of this country. The appointment of Mr. Weiss reinforces. for the
And then it'll just
people
have you create your own
the
password.
department's commitment.
Commitment. They can't even say words like commitment because they don't mean anything. They don't believe in anything. They're just bureaucrats. Remember at the beginning of the pandemic, this is Anthony Fauci. This guy, as long as you don't look at any of his past, is super reliable and we should trust everything he says, even though he doesn't trust it himself. This is the way that we understand Washington and indeed all centralized government to work now. My belief is that they are not especially corrupt. My belief is they've always been this corrupt, but now the means for investigation and communication is so profligate that they can't maintain power and control in the way that they used to. There's, I believe, a global panic about the miracle of modern communication that requires the legitimization of censorship in particular. And what we're watching here is just these old institutions desperately scrabbling to hold on to their authority when all of us can see that the emperor is nude and it's not very impressive. Last week, the New York Post reported that President Biden's family and their allies
Yeah, just
brought in at least
and generally most
$20
it's yeah, the
from
food,
foreign
the
sources,
food,
including
the snap
first-son
slash
Biden
food step.
and associates in Russia, Kazakhstan, and Ukraine, some of whom dined with the current.
Yeah, we just get a tax break when we hire folks that are on any
As
type of.
nepotism exists in politics. People grant access
or
money in politics.
probation
Joe
or something.
Biden, of course, like any of us would, helps his children to get on in life. The problem is it's with a bunch of Kazakhstani, Russian and Ukrainian energy firms. There's this weird war going on at the moment. There's the receipt of extraordinary sums of money. It doesn't look good when the whole of the media is in a frenzy about the apparent corruption of Donald Trump, a possibility that I remain entirely open to as long as that is investigated with the same
27 months, half a year, 6 months. Yeah, 27 weeks, 6 months.
Democrats who for years accused Trump of corruption and of breaking the law have turned a blind eye to the dishonesty of President Joe Biden, his administration, and his family. For years, politicians such as Nancy Pelosi, congressional Democrats, and left-wing political pundits all touted in a cultish, well-rehearsed, creepy sort of unison that no one was above the law, not even a president. Yet, as time has passed, that affirmation has been anything but true. In fact, the only time Democrats seem to care about upholding the law,
Just make sure you say yes to all those questions.
The last name Trump. The law is a tool and a weapon to ensure that their agenda can be pursued, their objectives met. The law is not an independent entity that is revered and honored in the same way a god might have been in an earlier incarnation of civilization. Or
did you click exit? Okay, so you're back to the log screen.
To enshrine a set of values and to create in-groups and out-groups and to other.
You don't need. I don't even know why they give that. Yeah, just click that, and it'll take you to like two or three more pages. Just click next on that page.
Underwrite their own preferences.
You go, and just make sure that's all that's up to date and accurate.
I think it's pretty safe to say that Hunter Biden's businesses benefited from the fact that his surname is Biden and that Joe Biden gave him favorable opportunities and favorable access. To deny that, like this guy would have done all of these business deals even if his dad had been
not necessary.
That's my dad.
Of course, since we started telling you it's going to be this. So
when it comes to Biden and his family, there have been a completely different set of standards held compared to President Donald Trump. Everything surrounding the investigation of Hunter Biden has been suspect since the beginning. Say what you want about Trump's legal issues and multiple indictments.
See what it wants us to do is fill in with NA and all these. This one's not so bad because it's not a bunch of them. So just do NA.
That's the fundamental argument. You can't trust people who do not apply the same standards across a whole gamut of moral or judicial issues.
And that's why I generally tell people to skip it because it's so picky.
We're talking about favoritism, political expedience, managing elections, bringing down opponents. All of those things start to become more relevant.
Okay, now on this page, basically, in all these different categories, things that you have experience in, and under availability, what not just for this position, but for any position, what your availability is.
And hold anyone accountable for their illegal acts and corruption. Since Biden has been in office, Democrats' efforts at accountability have been much less vigorous. It's almost as if they create two separate realms of justice. That's not justice at all. Justice has to be evenly applied, or it is no longer justice. It's just a tool of the state. Look no further than last Friday's appointment by the Department of Justice of a special counsel to investigate Hunter Biden. The person assigned to investigate Hunter Biden, David Weiss, is the same.
Then I'm going to load some things for you to fill out. You'll log back in just a second.
So the person that gave him the favorable plea deal is doing the investigation. If he gave him a favorable plea deal, what kind of investigation is likely to be conducted? Probably a favorable one, I would imagine, or at least one that takes so bloody long that by the time the results are in, think still we don't know the full facts around JFK. What is this process?
Impact employment. I'm speaking. How can I help you?
A fierce, a prompt investigation, or a laborious task that distracts us from the facts. We, all of us, sort of know, don't we, that presidents do favors for their family. That a career politician like Joe Biden's going to have blood in his hands because of the way he's voted in previous wars, because of the way he's supported various globalist corporations, energy companies, big tech, financial industry. We know he's going to have accepted money from them. We know he stood in front of a room full of donors and said nothing's going to change when what they were offering the population after Trump was massive change. So
I would need you to come in just to renew your I-9. I think we should. If it's only been that long, we shouldn't have an issue bringing you back. I do got to get approval from Terry, but with that explanation, depending on what your attendance was and stuff like that, she'll probably say yes.
Well, that guy can come and go, look, I know it might look a bit weird, like David Weiss is the person that negotiated the special
well, I'm booked up today. Let's shoot for 1 o'clock tomorrow.
That demonstrates that this hasn't been done thoroughly or properly. So to bring the same person in looks like a horrible mistake.
Yeah,
the only way you can get
like I said, I'm also have to submit your name to make sure that it's okay. Bring you back.
We've been schooled to think
it's always up to the client. It's up to the clients.
It's always ever so complicated what they're doing. They make it sound complicated.
So tomorrow 1 o'clock, and then they're working Fridays on days now. Was it day shift?
Concealment of facts.
Yeah, they're working Fridays, so you'll get a couple days, at least one day in.
But when it comes to how do you
If she-
run a
if she-
community,
if-
how
if
do
she
you
approves
deal
it.
with
So I'll see you
competing
tomorrow.
ideas, how do you create republics and
bye.
democracies and manageable systems of government? It clearly isn't like this. What these systems do is they advantage elites and prevent us from seeing how those advantages are undertaken and kept in place. That's why they're so fiercely protective of it, and that's why they have to create villains like Trump and place them center stage. So we're all caught up in this garish, vivid, lurid, grotesque spectacle, when in fact what we should be deducing is all government is corrupt. That's why this doesn't feel like a big deal when it comes to the Trump indictments. We know Trump's probably corrupt. He exists in a world of corruption. He tells us that he does corrupt stuff. I take advantage of the very tax loops the cheap Clinton put in place.
He didn't pay any federal income tax. So
That makes
if
me
he's
smart.
paid zero,
This would signify a massive conflict of interest in any regular, objective, fair, and non-corrupt person. Yet this was the duplicitous act de jure by Attorney General Merrick Garland and the Biden administration. If the situation were reversed and Trump was in office and did something like this, Democrats would demand it not stand. And given their history, they would probably file articles of impeachment, launch a criminal investigation, and bring an indictment. Simply put, this is why much of the country claims Trump's indictment, no matter the legal basis for any of them, are nothing more than political persecution. The Biden administration and Democrats have demonstrated they cannot be trusted when it comes to matters of justice. If Trump broke the law, then hold him accountable. If not, leave him alone. But there shouldn't be one set of rules for people named Trump and another set entirely for those named Biden. And based on all available evidence, that's exactly how it seems to any objective person paying attention. So there you are. It seems like the reason that there cannot be a thorough investigation of the Biden business affairs is because a thorough investigation would reveal corruption. I think many of us intuit that. Presumably, even people that have strong fealty to the Democratic Party on some level recognize that there is corruption within the system, that there is corruption within the Biden family. And what they would probably say is, yeah, but it ain't as bad as the Trumps. What I would say is there shouldn't be corruption of this degree in any of the institutions of government that we, the people, pay for. What I'm saying is that this is evidence that when you take the temperature of the system, you find that it is corrupt through and through, that it is overbaked, undercooked, that it's full of salmonella, that this is a disease feast that we're being invited to eat. And the only way that they can obscure that is through the language of politics, bureaucratic nomenclature that's confusing, obfuscating, and distracting. If we spoke plainly to one another about politics, it would sound like this. Both parties are corrupt. Both parties are funded in ways that means that it's impossible for them to do their job. The Biden administration's primary function is to create the perception of difference between them and the Republicans, and in particular Trump. Plainly, they want to elevate the Trump issue to a degree that is
And
the
then,
only thing the
click
political
on-
conversation. In part,
when
it would
go
seem
back to the
because they've
homepage
got a
again,
lot of
yeah, just
corruption
click
and
on employee
hypocrisy
login, log back
within
in with
their
what
own
you created.
party and their own family. But that's just what I think. Until next time, stay free.
No, here's the fucking.
Yeah, it's going to make you fill that out. Yeah, you might have hit back by accident. Sometimes that happens and it dumps it all when you do that. So normally it loads in the address that you have in there automatically. That's one of those things you would have to do.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you say no here. And, are you under 40? Yeah, just put the date there. Yeah.
You gotta do it on the calendar.
Sometimes it lets you, sometimes it doesn't. And then you'll click on where it says make selections. Then you just answer those questions.
My my
No,
position.
I don't even know why it gives one. It's a useless number. I'm done.
Okay, so
whatever. What?
here's what we're gonna do.
That's weird.
I always like doing this. We've got today's.
Let's try this before we
Douchebag
get there.
of the day.
There we go.
I like to give
We fooled
attention
it.
to
All right,
morons.
there you go.
So there's this individual in chat that is
wait.
spurging out,
Yeah, we just
parroting extremely basic firearm safety that we're all taught in hunter
All right, now I'm
safety
gonna pull
class
you
at
up a little
5
bit
years
more
old.
for you.
He's spurging out and yelling at me and calling me an idiot for saying that you're not supposed to point guns directly at anybody. He says, Jeremy, that's not a modern rule, you moron. Basic firearm safety's been around since the GD20s. I'm talking about
No, it's
the movie.
just the browser
Everyone
error.
knows
It's
I'm
the program.
talking
It's
about
not you.
in a
So you're in.
movie.
Click where it
And
says inDOCtriNATION.
in movies, you point guns at people
On the
all
top.
the time.
And then
It happens all the time.
click on the green button there. It
Moron.
says Employee Start Wizard, and it'll take you through each form.
I don't.
Most of them are just signatures.
I don't
Some of
really.
them, there's the federal tax form, state
And then
tax
you're
form, and then the
continuing to
I-9.
spurg out.
The other ones are
I
just
don't
rules.
deal with disrespect in my chat. You can disagree with me.
I will be
But
giving
if
you a
you're
written
gonna have a
copy of those
melty
rules
about
too.
it
So.
and say insane things,
Impact
like
employment
I
norms,
don't
we can help you.
fuck with that. I don't roll with that in my chat. I'm not cool with abuse in the chat.
I'm all right.
Being saying stuff like that to other people. You keep it respectful in my chat. I'm not going to ban you.
Yes.
Because I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that perhaps you missed the point.
Okay.
You don't even have a gun on set? What? Dude, I've been on movie sets. You have guns on the set. Lots of them. In fact, it's a literal job on the movie set. What? It's illegal to have a fire? Okay. I get it. You're retarded. I got it. Okay. There are absolutely positively
Yeah, they
real
attached the
guns
invoice
on the
too.
set.
So,
are you
but
kidding me?
That back. They sent that back in May, and apparently because so many changes on our end, I probably one insurance company said that's
if
not
there
us.
weren't real guns on the set, how did Brendan, what's his name, die?
Okay.
Yes, please help the retarded.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Well, I'm kind of in the middle of an orientation right now, but yeah, I'll be done. I'll be done in about 20 minutes.
All movie sets that have guns in them.
That's fine.
It's literally the armorer's job on the set to manage the weapons.
All right. Sorry about that. One thing after another. Today feels like a Monday.
Anyway. Yeah, Brendan Lee. That's who I was talking about. Yeah, Brendan Lee. Here's a great topic.
In public for the first time. Tip number 1, wear something tight. Trust me on this one. If your nipples are gonna show, they're gonna show. Might as well feel some support. There will be less jiggle, there will be less bounce. You're welcome. Tip number 2, wear something dark. It's more conspicuous. Tip number 3, don't look at people walking by.
Yep.
What? You want to know
it'll
whether
take
they're
you.
looking at
It'll look
Doesn't
different
matter.
this time. It'll be what she's looking at now. Usually,
Oh no.
Yeah.
Fellas, I'm sorry to say, women are owning you by not wearing bras.
For some reason, these two things, the other name.
If you want to make it really, if you want to make us really mad, don't wear a shirt either. That'll really stick in our craw.
That's fine. Now click on eDocuments. The green button there.
I don't have to put dashes.
No. This, okay. Make sure you go all the way to the beginning.
Yeah.
No. That form is squirrely. That's one of the main reasons I monitor that one while I'm doing.
Stick it to us, ladies.
All right, here we go.
By the way, as somebody who's seen tens of boobs in their life, I think it would do young men. It would do young men some good to see what boobs actually look like. What real boobs actually look like. Young men grow up seeing fake porno tits and girls in bras
I think what I did wrong
that
was
are
I tried.
anti-gravity
Well, I see because it's already up there.
and when they finally get to see some real boobs, there's often a learning gap. Was it going braless to trend in the 60s and 70s? Yeah. During like second wave feminism. Some women viewed bras as some sort of patriarchy thing. But I mean, as a husband of a woman with very large boobs, it also helps their back.
That might be a Google security thing. I might bring it to like when I submit it.
And just so you know, all the girls pushing this free the nipple thing are like 18 to 22.
It's easier to just put back up here.
Pretty sure that they're like, ooh, this is so bold. My boobs are at their all-time perkiness. I'm such a stunning and brave. I'm a stunning and brave.
So we'll have you do that. Just close out that tab completely.
On my phone.
Yeah, just that way it doesn't show you logged in somewhere else.
Then I'll say you're heroic. Have you been following this weird situation? Yeah, feed a few kids. Right. Yeah. Breastfeed a few kids. And then tell me how freeing and amazing it feels.
Apartment number 2. This form is really squirrely that way. It has to be in those those two spots. You were born in the U.S., correct? Oh yeah, you showed me your birth certificate. Yes.
Hawaii.
Like Obama? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
There you go.
So I see you graduated #1 in your class from Princeton.
That's right. And I'm certified as an accountant and also have a law degree.
That's all very impressive. We'll keep you in mind. Let's see. Pointy boobs, medium pointy boobs, not so pointy boobs. That's a shame.
It sure is. I'm
Then on the federal form,
better than
it's the way it's set up now is it automatically
20 daughters?
Does use an exemption up here on top.
How's your
First,
vagina?
you just want to check how you file.
Wow, that was over the line. Sorry. I just.
And then, do you have any dependents that you claim? So you don't do shit. So
wearing a bra weakens your muscles. With if your wife didn't wear one, she might have some.
The rest is just a worksheet. It doesn't do anything.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go down there and I'm going to yell at my wife for wearing a bra.
So. Okay, don't worry about license number.
You're not wrong, though.
They don't need to know whether you're new or not. It's none of their business. Now, did you want to claim yourself for state?
No. Yeah, I guess I'll claim myself.
Yeah. You'll still get a return with just yourself. And then sign there and finish.
The
date of birth.
Yeah,
It does
not
put
wrong.
the slashes in for you here.
You're not wrong.
This whole system is being,
Hold on a
in
second,
fact,
this
we
might
have
be like,
classes coming up. This whole
funeral
system's getting
stuff. Hold on a
revamped, so all these little glitches
Hello?
don't happen, and I don't have to stand over it. All right, cool. The ones that say pending review just means I have to do my part. So you're good to go. Swap seats. Amanda, log back in there. Just employee login.
I don't know what it is.
All right, Justin, let me
Automated
get you
call.
started on some of the paper.
Okay. Now we're getting into some of the real stories here. With the Jason Whitlock thing.
Okay, click on eDocs.
Interesting story.
We're going to do this.
Guy, do you remember the movie The Blind Side? I
Yeah,
don't think this
sorry.
is worthy of a standalone video. I just thought I'd
There you go.
mention it. The Blind Side actor who's an NFL player, Michael Orrs, I think. He came out now to say, all that money that the movie made, something like $300 million is what he's claiming, was stolen by his quote unquote parents in that movie, the real life parents. And they never really adopted him. My name's Jeremy. That's what he's saying now, randomly. And now he's like, they took all of my monies. They took all of my monies. They took all of my monies. The guy's a multi-millionaire from playing football.
No, you have to put him in on that.
He claims that Sean and Lee and
now up there where it says other names and
never
department
officially
number
adopted
NA.
him, according to court papers. The Tuohys tricked Orr into signing over legal authority to use his name and business after he turned 18. The 37-year-old also alleged to use their conservatorship to make millions in royalties from the 2009 Oscar-nominated film. I guess I don't care. They may be bad people. Hey, what a sinister plan. Take a poor black kid off the streets, hope he turns into a decent college player and plays well enough to get in the NFL just so you can make a movie about him. Yeah, like, what?
Good. And just check the citizen there. We'll check, yeah, and then go down. And,
it was their plan. Well, at
right
least
above the-
Jason Whitlock
yeah,
said he's
signature of
despicable. for
employee
suing
right above
them.
the gray box there.
He's doing to the Tuohy family is despicable.
Yep.
He's telling an obvious lie.
And say,
He
okay.
knows most of the media will be too afraid to question
And then
him
the gray
because he's
box there,
black.
just check the first one because you didn't use
Plus, the media is
translator.
lazy. It's easier to repeat others' allegations, Orr's allegations, rather than question and research them. I also feel sorry for him. He continued. Whitlock said he came to the conclusion after rereading Orr's book, I Beat the Odds, and then rewatching The Blind Side, the movie based on his life. The opinionated host seemed to have most umbrage with Orr's claims in a 14-page legal petition that he only discovered in February that he had not been adopted, but instead signed the documents for conservatorship.
Yeah, I do the bottom, so you
which
just
gave control over his finances to their family.
Yep.
The family has denied these claims, especially that they profited to great levels
You
from
have
the
a question?
movie starring Sandra Bullock.
Oh, all set. Now, yeah, the drug
Order
screen,
for
you're
the
just filling
family.
out the top. It's not required for the
Relayed a
position.
statement to TMZ saying accusing Orr of a $15
We have to have
million
one signed and filled
shakedown,
out, so
calling his claims
you have the
outlandish,
front,
hurtful,
back, and all those pages.
absurd.
Okay. And the last page there.
Why on earth is Michael Orr pretending that he only recently discovered that the family didn't adopt him? Whitlock
That's
said.
just the job
Why are
description.
members of
That's
the
the
media
final
going
rules, and you'll
along
get a
with
copy
Orr's
of that
effort to
last
shake
one.
down the family for cash under the pretense that they lied and exploited him for profit? Orr has expressed his dissatisfaction with The Blind Side, but that didn't stop Whitlock from ripping the former NFL offensive lineman for his claims, saying he lacked self-awareness, humility, and quite possibly intelligence. He's so arrogant and delusional that he believes his natural intellect would have developed regardless of circumstances. it's a naive worldview. He's still naive. He believes
I'm sorry?
this desperate attempt to shake down the family that welcomed him into his home is a good look, and it's going to lead to a financial windfall. It's not. As lazy as the media is, as lazy as reporters and pundits are, you're going to have to deal with the truth.
It's
Like
okay.
I said, the Tuohys were wealthy.
You're good.
When
And
they
then you
took
sign
legal
there, and the
guardianship
rest is a
of them.
worksheet.
They sold their family
next.
business for $200 million. They
bring in
had
the last part,
literally
just a
no financial motive to exploit him.
All right. They don't need the license number. They don't need to know if you're
Yeah.
new. You said 0, so you
I
put
agree.
a 0 there.
Right here.
Yep.
You know, big agree.
And then you sign it in box 9.
They're putting out this whole exploitative
bottom,
conservatorship
click
nonsense. Like it's Britney Spears, parents controlling her money. Michael reporters, the world, the Tuohys have and
All right.
always
The ones
have
that say
more
pending
money
review,
than
it just
Michael
means I have to
Orr,
do
like
my
I said.
portion. So you're good.
They
You can
also have more class, decency,
Done.
and compassion. Their side makes perfect sense. Here's the deal everyone's going to have to come to grips with. Michael Orr is every bit as emotionally broken as this first day as an overgrown teenager that he slept on their couch. Where would you be without them? He said. Yikes. He's right, though. But damn.
You guys are flying through this anyway. This usually takes an hour and a half, and we're almost
damn.
I'm pretty fast at most of this stuff.
Target earnings just
No, you're
closed.
fine.
Courtney Reagan
Fine.
is here with the numbers. Court.
Yeah, Melissa, so let's get through this. There's a lot here.
It's not.
And now
The
I
thing
present
is
to you
that these computers
your
are so
moment
slow.
of
You start typing and you
Target
start
second
typing
quarter
faster than the
earnings
computer
coming
can
in
even
at
pick it
$1.80 per
up.
share. That's 41 cents
And if you
above
think you're making
consensus,
mistakes,
but
but
the
you're really
profit was
not.
not driven by sales. Revenue at 24.77 billion, below 25.16 billion estimated. Also slashing
No, you
your
don't.
earnings guidance. This even after this quarter's huge beat. So it's
Yeah, I
now
know.
expecting between $7 and $8. That's down from $7.75 to $8.75. It's also bringing down its sales expectations to mid-single-digit declines rather than low single-digit decline to low single-digit increase. Target's comparable sales down 5.4%. That is well below estimates for a 3.7% drop, also the first decrease since 2016. The retailer says discretionary categories again weak, while food,
Now, as
beverage,
far as
essentials, beauty, those frequency
the drug stream
categories,
goes,
those
you're
were stronger.
giving us
Digital
permission to do
sales
one
down
whenever we feel like
Just wait,
it.
it's coming.
That's the third straight quarter of
Once in a great
declines
while
and the
they do
worst
randoms.
performance since Target has been giving
Once in a
this
great while they do
number.
randoms, and they
Inventory
will do
fell
one, of course, if you're
17%,
hurt or
and lower markdowns should
damaged
help to
property
lift
or
gross
something like that.
margins.
Or if you're
Operating
intoxicated,
margins also better
they'll
than
do it for
expected.
post.
But at
They consider
4.8%,
cannabis the
that's
same as
about
alcohol.
half of the level where it was 2
So
years
just
ago,
like we wouldn't expect you to come in after drinking,
On
you
a
don't
call
come in
with
after
media,
using
Target
cannabis.
CEO Brian Cornell pointed to macro
Just ready?
Save it for
Here
home.
comes.
Don't use on break.
Here it comes,
If
everybody.
you come in reeking,
Get that like button.
probably send you home.
The rumble up button. There's only 250.
Yeah, I mean the
left.
machinery and stuff like
I'm
that.
about to give you
it's- I mean, to me, that's a whole lot less dangerous
shot
than alcohol, but
a vitamin B in the arm.
macro pressures,
Yeah,
including
it's still
inflation,
dangerous.
for
Yeah.
tempering sales, but also, quote, negative guest reaction to our Pride collection. He also continued to say negative reaction to our Pride assortment and added, after adjusting mid-quarter to address safety concerns,
Let's hear
negative
that
guest
again.
reaction to our Pride collection pressures, including inflation, for tempering sales, but also, quote, negative guest reaction to our Pride collection. He also continued to say negative reaction to our Pride assortment and added, after adjusting mid-quarter to address safety concerns, the business recovered sales, but also, quote, negative guest reaction to our Pride collection. He also continued to say negative reaction to our Pride assortment and added, after adjusting mid-quarter to address safety concerns, the business recovered positively in July. I asked Cornell to clarify that the response by some consumers to the Pride merchandise was material enough that it impacted sales, and then after Target removed some of the merchandise or moved it in some stores, the trends changed. He said, quote, you describe it very accurately. We only took actions in the month of June. We wanted to make sure we're focused on the safety of our teams and the safety of our guests.
Okay, so this portion
Once
is
we
for
took those actions and addressed the
basically.
situation,
Everything you've done
we
basically
saw
for us
things
to make sure we pay you right, make sure you understand
the
the
last
rules.
time Target's
This
comp
is the
sales were
things you
negative, as I
know for
mentioned,
the
was
day.
6 years ago, and that does
So that
correspond
you
to
already
the
signed
4
for
quarters that
handbook.
followed the retailer's stance, allowing guests
The
to
back
choose
page,
whatever
just a copy of
bathroom
that
they
last
choose
sheet.
for their gender identity.
My
But Target
highlighted
did
phone
say
number
at the
there.
time that any
I
lost
prefer
sales
you
from
text
those
me.
boycotts weren't
Know
material
if I'm
enough
in
to
the middle of doing
report.
things, I'm not answering the
This
phone.
time, though, they're
And
calling it out. It's
after
not
hours,
quantifying
that
it.
phone rings
It's
to my
just,
cell.
again,
Turn on
seemingly
the
caught in the middle of these culture wars in a way that did seem to impact sales.
I am on ADHD.
You tell us at the point.
At the time.
Yeah. Because things change.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's it.
You know, you go to the dentist.
I didn't see any of that at this time.
No big deal. No big deal. Yeah. So whatever you're taking,
Yeah. Well, it would affect me if I didn't.
Not only
Please take it.
did it.
All right. No, I get it. My wife takes them. But yeah.
Not only did it drop due to the Pride backlash,
I'm not going to answer the phone if I'm fine.
but they're also removing significant amounts. Ha, Cat, you're right. I like all the hard work he did by just stealing another video and posting it online. Elon's paying him $7,000 a month to do that.
It's in your pocket and it vibrates.
They are saying.
You're gonna look at it. You're gonna look.
Cornell said store that store theft and safety become a bigger concern. Where is it? I read in this article that they're Target. Here we go. The strong reaction to this year's Pride assortment impacted sales during the quarter. Christina Hennington, Target's chief growth officer, said Wednesday. Target will adjust its Pride Month collection next year.
So yeah, it goes into color coding scoops depending on the type of food product it is, whether it's if it's an allergen, it's green. Okay, remember that.
They're pulling Pride stuff,
floors,
including potential changes to timing and placement in stores and the mix of brands itself. They're going to move it to the back of the store.
The uniform is pretty simple.
Towards many more new friends. Jeremy, good. I don't want any friends. Internet friends are weak. If you think, by the way, I know that you're probably maybe just trying to be whatever, nice, but I have a long storied history of shitting on everyone else all the time.
Other than that,
it's what makes me unique. I don't play this. I don't play this. We're all on the same team, bro. So I'm gonna ignore that you're a scumbag. I'm not saying Benny's a scumbag. He's just a content.
Okay, it's gotta be short. Now in the wintertime it can be a little bit. I mean, it's a much newer building, so.
Could I play that same game? Could I hire an intern to say,
but if you are a little bit cool,
hey, follow Benny, Alex, and Mario in the fall, and then just anytime they tweet, immediately repost exactly what they tweeted? Actually, maybe I should, as a thought experiment, pay somebody $1,000 for the rest of the month to just repost what those, and Ian Miles Chong. Just gank from all 5 of those people and just repost it constantly.
The first page is just the signature register. Basically, you'll send out the production tickets and stuff like that.
That's maybe I should do that. Who wants that job?
So they want to see a copy of what that is.
Just
right.
Follow like these same 5 people.
Okay, that's all you do, just the top line. I don't know.
And
the page here is
just repost all their videos. We could probably, like the chat could probably come up. This might be kind of a fun experiment. We could probably come up with, the 5 or 6 people that do it, right?
Training, I do that.
The 5 or 6 people that, you know who I'm talking about. Elon's little inner circle, the Krasensteins. I feel like I'm going to do it.
I'm going to tell you what it is, but I'm going to make sure you understand.
Just say, here's
$1,000. The way it works is if you miss anything,
so we make it.
If you miss more than 6, they probably will retest.
So we make it. We got to make it back in Twitter advertising.
Can't find it. If you can't find it, okay.
It's not like you have to be online 24/7. You just follow them. You turn alerts on. And every time they post something, you just because that's. I mean, they did.
They know that I review it.
They do that. It's not their.
Any questions at all while you're going through that?
Johnson didn't create that CNN clip. He just stole it and re-uploaded it wholesale. Right? Ian Miles Chong never creates those clips. He doesn't even react or add commentary. He just posts them. No context. The guy has 500,000 followers. Yeah, and those guys all love to crop those watermarks too. I got news for you. You love men. You're gay. Here's what's so weird. Because I sold my old truck. So I sold my own. I sold my old truck. It was a 2018 Raptor, and I had it tuned from Whipple. And the guy that bought it is like texting me like, "Do you have the flash thing? Because I want to detune it." Who would do that? It's like it was a perfect tune. I tuned it in 2018. Why would you do that? Who would actually do that? I feel like I should demand it back.
So, right?
He's not trying to get any money off me or anything.
Yeah, because
He's
then
just
it would be allergens and non-allergens.
saying,
So
like,
yeah, it would be false.
Hey, do you have the?
That's why I'm glad you asked. Just
says we need the handheld.
Yeah, green is green.
Reflash.
Well, there are some that are kind of. Some of them look so obvious.
Right.
And you wait till you get to the good ones.
I don't understand. I even included it. I put it in the center console, so I don't know. I mean, he can detune it. That's fine, but why would you do that? This Ford Raptor's too fast. I bought a Ford Raptor, but it's got too much acceleration. Tell him to give it to him if he can pee on the truck since it's been emasculated. Yeah. Why would he? I don't even understand what. This truck the exhaust sounds too good. Oh, it's Geek Talk. It's not Geek Talk. It's just like all vehicles have computers in them now, and with the Ford EcoBoost engine, it's very easy to squeeze another 100 horsepower out of it, or even 200 horsepower if you're a maniac. But that first 100 horsepower is really easy. You literally just plug in a flash drive and you press a button and it's done. I'm not very good with cars, but even I could figure that out. I was like, oh, might be the dealer trying to sell it in a state that requires inspection. But wouldn't it pass inspection? Should I text them back and say, give me my truck back? I'm not letting you detune it, you Nancy. It's not like the truck was ballistic. It's only, I mean, it's like 585 horsepower now, I think. Or it's like 80 or 90 more than what it was initially. But it wasn't like ballistic where you were like worried about, having it too much power. So that was weird. My truck is transitioning. Absolutely will not pass inspection. Just emissions alone would fail it. I don't think so. I had it since 2018. I have to get emissions. I had to get emissions done on it, and it always passed.
I'm sorry?
Are you allowed to wear earrings?
No external jewelry. Yeah, just anything that can end up falling in the product,
and it passed.
They won't allow.
So that's weird. Now maybe he bought it out of state. Maybe he bought it out of state and they have different rules. That could be.
That's true, right?
You'd be surprised. People are like, "Wait, this."
Yeah, they want to
this is-
detune it and then charge them to
It
improve
sketches
it.
them out. They're like, "Oh yeah." Maybe to the wearer, but depending on the type of metal it is, I don't know.
He needs to reflash the ECU. Why?
Yep, even if you're bald, because bald people can still get dandruff.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
The data
Let's
sheets
get
are
back
actually in
on
the
topic.
break room, so you have access to them. Thank you for asking.
Rust guy, nobody really cares about that. Let's talk a little bit about this Linus Tech Tips thing, because I think that that's weird. Let me just call this broad here quick. You guys can all listen in. Oh, Amanda, please. Some states have. Hey, it should be in the center console. It's a little red box. Yeah, I remember because when I taken everything out, you know, for you, the guy that came with me, you know, my buddy, he put it in there. So did he say he looked and it's not there?
No glass products, no peanut products, because peanut is an allergen. So that's a both on that question.
Yeah, so like.
I bet he didn't look.
No
Why
Snickers.
would he want to
no-
detune it? I
yeah,
feel like I
nothing
want
with
my
peanuts
truck
in
back.
That's my favorite candy
I know.
bar.
It's mine too. But
What in the world?
yeah, they for them to be able to legally put peanut-free facility, it has to be
Oh, why
peanut-free
would you have to do
facility.
that? That's
For
weird.
the first
Okay.
day of school up here.
Tell him I want my truck back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They let them have it for a
Enjoy
day,
it.
but they wouldn't let them have it anymore.
It's amazing how the
It's a little
percentages
red
of
box that
kids
says
these
like
days that
Whipple on
are
it.
that
It's in the
have
center
peanut issues.
console. And if it's
I mean,
not
one of
there,
my
check
sons
my
does
box.
too.
I specifically remember like
Never.
before I came up there, he's
Never.
like, "Do you want me to put this in here?" I was
And
like,
they
"Yeah."
served that at lunch.
Right.
So
Exactly.
yeah, and then, by the way, if he could probably get another box, like I have the tune in my email, so like he probably doesn't need to buy a new computer. He could just buy a new box.
I've never
from
been
them,
anti-vax
from
in my
Whipple,
life
you know what I
until
mean?
recently, and I,
So let
honestly,
me know if you
I think
can't
a lot
find
of
it, and
the
tell him
issues,
call
the
McGill
health
for
issues and
detuning
stuff
it.
kids are doing have to do with some of those.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
I mean, my kids have got them all too, but it's
My kid's got all
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on there.
some of the new stuff. I don't know about all that.
Wish you the best in sad time. Don't know if you've heard about Wrangle Star and Rolling Stone magazine, freedom of speech. Wrangle Star. He makes like the prepper videos. Is that him? He taught people to make bombs, and YouTube's helping him cash in. Oh my God. I think I should cover this.
Because I'm positive I touched it before. I think it goes to the animal feed container.
it is animal feed container.
Did YouTube end up?
Yeah, they
getting-
send it
did
off like
YouTube,
pig farms and stuff,
demonetize him or
so it
anything?
doesn't get wasted.
That's awesome.
I don't know why he wants to detune it. It's baffling me. I don't understand it at all. He said that he needs to update the computer or something like that, but I mean, why?
Raw materials, all packaging.
I'm looking to see if there's any update here.
And it's with the slip sheet.
I'm sorry.
It says packaging or what is the correct way to store raw materials?
Oh, yeah, with the slip sheet. Yep, on a pallet with the slip sheet. You got it.
Oh, so Rolling Stone wrote a hit piece on him. Hopefully they didn't get.
You can put
he
food
didn't
or
get
beverages in
demonetized.
your locker as long as it's not peanut. No.
No, there's a place in the break room for that.
Okay.
For pest control, they don't want any food or beverages in the better locker room.
So I don't know if you've been following this Linus Tech Tips / Gamers Nexus / consumer and viewer revolt that's been going on, but it's actually pretty wild. I talked about yesterday that Gamers Nexus put up a 45-minute video cataloging what I think are a variety of issues with
and the second
Linus
one
Tech
and the next
Tips
one is
videos
both.
output, ranging from simple oversights to and like maybe lazily updating, making corrections by using asterisks instead of reshooting it, not doing enough to go back and correct things when he gets things wrong. These were, like, in my opinion, mid-level criticisms that were fair, and because there were so many of them, it was worthwhile.
Thank you.
However, then he put out what was a very defensive type apology statement that really didn't take a lot of responsibility for the oversights. And just as predictable as always, now ex-employees are coming out. He stopped making videos. It's turned into a huge mess. All Linus Tech Tips needed to do was say, holy moly, look at all these oversights. We're immediately going to hire more editorial oversight, and we're going to fix this going forward. We're going to apologize. We apologize. And that's it. It's not like he was hooking up with fans. It's not like he was stealing other people's content. It's not like he was willingly, like, in my opinion, I don't think he was willingly lying. I think that the content that was getting put out was getting really sloppy because they were trying to push out so much of it while they were trying to maintain this, like, small guy. I'm just a guy who likes computers. Look, even
Correcting the dates on
super
yours.
huge mega corporation nowadays. But today things got a lot worse, and now he's
22.
quit making videos over it. This video, by the way, speaking of, is sponsored by Meta PCs.
Lost a couple years there.
They are the computer.
Yeah, these are one of the
computer
few forms that
I
the Food and Drug
recommend
Administration
people
does
directly.
at
It's
least
my
one audit a
actual
year.
computer that I'm
Every
using
place.
is on here right now.
They are
I
so
went
picky.
worked with them to get kind of like a good, better, best, Insano build list, but their real bread and butter is in their pre-builts, their ready to ships. They're veteran owned. They also do fully customizable builds. And if you use promo code The Quartering, you'll save some money on it, which is even better. Link will be in the description below. So Linus Tech Tips puts out an apology video that gets, is very poor. First of all, he monetized it. A 20-minute video.
I think Luke put
monetized.
Oh yeah.
Apology. Very, very, very bad. This is the video here. It currently has 109,000.
My dad, who's dead, and my son, he's a third. I'm a junior.
And what you can't see with
the only ones I know in my life,
73,000 downloads. Linus Tech Tips stopped being just a YouTuber who was helping the little guy a long time ago. They have this guy, new CEO.
All right, I got you guys written down for first shift. When do you think you'll have the
everybody getting in front of the camera? Doing these weird, gotta have those apology stuff. And what's interesting to me,
well, if you want, you can just get them and then just give me a shout, and then we can, actually schedule the start
at
date.
the end, you finally get Linus, and I think
the next day, Friday.
Most of the backlash is.
At least you'll get a one-day check next Friday.
Most of the backlash, from what I understand, to this apology video is first that they monetize it.
Either way, one thing I do want to ask you about those
videos.
Deposit. Did you guys?
This is one of those
you have your own
unwritten
calendar
YouTube
something you
rules.
want to use?
Especially
I'm gonna send you an email.
15.5
you log in using the same
million
login you use here. Just click on the link.
subscribers.
You'll get two links
And
on it. One of them will be for
Going
insurance.
down, I'm
If you're not
sure.
interested, just opt
And
out.
the
The other one will be direct deposit. Now, once you do submit
it
that
was
info
weird.
into the direct deposit,
So
text me,
we've
let
heard
me know you did
feedback
it
from
so
our
I can
community,
check.
from our team internally,
Sometimes
and
it doesn't go through
monetization has been turned off.
If it doesn't,
They
we
should
can do
have
it manually.
known
It's not a big deal.
better.
All right.
Obviously.
Any
And the
questions?
reaction to this apology video is not going well. The channel has been
If
growing
you don't, I
really
can
steadily
I can
at
set you up with a pay card.
100,000
So it's not that big
subscribers
a deal.
per month, almost exclusively. They lost 100,000 yesterday. I think they probably only make
Well, it doesn't
updates
matter.
every 100,000.
No, I have them.
suspect they're gonna lose more.
If you can't get it
If you
done,
look
I'll
at the
just bring you
live
one.
count. I don't know if it's going to go down more or not, but
And if, like I said,
suspect
yeah, that's fine. I'll just bring one out to you. I mean, if we end up getting started on Friday, and
I don't
when I do
blame it.
payroll, I'll
It's
see.
just such
Okay,
a
we haven't
sad
set anything up yet. I'll set up a
situation
pay card and just bring it out.
I like Linus Tech Tips. I think that in general, their channel is a big force for good.
Sure.
But I also, have an issue.
All right, just let me know.
When
Just
you
text me and let me know.
make these kind of mistakes. I mean, this is
All right,
a
nice
channel,
meeting you
by the
guys.
way. Just their main channel generates 82 million views a month, which I don't know. They're obviously
You will get an email
super
with a link on it. When you click on the
family-friendly.
link, it'll ask for that login.
I don't like to talk
Yeah.
about other YouTubers' money, but I
Yeah.
would suspect
It'll be
that
the
he's
email you put in the
making
system here.
$300,000 to $400,000 a month in AdSense, and I would
Yep.
probably double that.
You guys
in
know where the
terms of
location of the building
advertisers
is,
and
right?
Things of that nature.
Okay,
So
it's
this
on.
is a
It's the address is
huge
underlined on the
empire.
back of that sheet. It's the top address there. It's
And
right
been,
next to a place called
pretty steady,
Paul's Collision.
100,000 December,
Right
January,
next door to there.
February. They didn't gain
Yeah,
any in March,
yeah.
but then they got right back on track with 100 in April, May, and now they lost
April.
100 yesterday. Now again, that's how it updates. I suspect they're going to lose a lot of subscribers over this. So they come out, they monetize their apology video, which was very stupid. A lot of people memeing on him. They forgot the dog. They forgot the long sigh. I don't know why the CEO was doing that video in and of itself. It's stupid. You see, like, it's just all over the place. Then, of course, right on schedule, a female employee comes out and makes claims. The exact day that he's going through this controversy, she releases a statement, alleges. Now, I read her Twitter thread, and almost all of it was ridiculous millennial whining about having to make so many tweets a day. Oh my God, I was expected to do 2 TikTok videos a day and 3 tweets. Plus, I had to make 2 videos a week. I started reading it and I was like, oh my God, like literally, who cares? However, there was some other stuff that came up that is more important. If you look at this individual's thread, she put, to stop speculation and DMs I'm receiving, I chose to quit my role at Linus Tech Tips because it and the working environment I was facing were ruining my mental health. The number of items the social media role at the time was expected to fill was incredibly high, so you didn't want to work hard. So when I read that, I was like, oh my God. But there's more to it. So she writes, I was expected to post 3 whole tweets a day, 2 Instagram posts, and 2 TikToks minimum per day. So that's an hour's work. I was also expected to film, edit, and post 2 float plane exclusives per week. That included wrangling people to be in them and when they were also struggling to get their work done. This is not a lot of work. 3 whole tweets a day, 2 Instagram posts. I mean, again, isn't the Instagram post the same thing as the tweets? I'm don't really care about this. It comes across as fully millennial. But there are some other things. I was also expected to manage, plan, and come up with, execute, and get approval for, that she's really buffering this on her resume, and schedule all the sponsored content on socials, not including YouTube. Now, that is a lot of work. I had a full-time employee for that. All while being told not to complain because my job was the fun job. I cannot speak on what it's like now, with the entire team working on seemingly what I was expected to accomplish. They have an entire team working on what I was expected to accomplish alone. And that sounds like sour grapes. I misspoke originally when I stated I had signed an NDA. I thought the employee handbook acted as one. I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah, we got.
I never publicly made any statements regarding my time there because I feared even more backlash from a community that already was attacking, defaming, and sending me threats on my life. Okay, that's a canned response. I also feared for my future and career, given that Linus Tech Tips is large and has industry connections. Again, none of this is really that big of a deal. But you see, my time at this company brought mental health to an all-time low. You could talk to anyone who was around me during my employment there. So you didn't like the job and you quit. That's what adults do. I constantly was belittled by certain members of upper management. My work was called terrible and I was incompetent. When I would reach out to managers to try and get help with those situations, I'd be told to put on my big girl pants and be more assertive. So it sounds like she just wasn't cut out for the job. And like, ultimately she does make some, after publicly announced by Linus that he was hiring me without my knowledge or consent, why would, and also before I was even offered the job or shown a salary, I agreed to sign the employment contract. That's stupid. And look how long, why it's still using a thread. So it sounds like it was not a great place to work. I'm not sure, following the attempts to receive help, Reeves alleges she was inappropriately grabbed multiple times. Don't do that. Don't put your hands on other people in the workplace. And barred from appearing in Linus Tech Tip videos. The opportunities Linus presented me were nothing in comparison to the day-to-day issues I faced. Reeve continued claiming that she was met with multiple sexist remarks
Apparently the
throughout the
walls are
duration
closing
of
in
her
on Trump.
employment. I mean, I don't necessarily, who knows? This is a modern woman. Third wave feminism is a thing, so you can't even tell her to, that she looks nice that day. So I don't know. There are other things that are inappropriate. I was asked about my bedroom history, my boyfriend's bedroom history. That's not okay, obviously. There were certain issues at the company involved bedroom tension, and they would take a coworker out on a coffee date to ease it out. Furthermore, Reeve recounts that she was asked to twerk for a coworker. Obviously, that's not okay. Called various slurs.
If it really happened.
But nothing ever came from it from reporting these incidents. So, that stuff's not okay. And there's obviously, internal paranoia, all this kind of stuff, which leads us to, all video production is now on pause following the Gamers Nexus backlash. Linus also apologized for his initial response, but the video does not address the allegations from an ex-employee about company culture and people putting their hands on them. He called his own response, my lame response in the forum was a huge and unnecessary blunder. I get it. But in today's culture, you really only get one chance to apologize, one chance to get it right. I don't think that Linus did any of these things intentionally. I don't think he's a bad human, but this is the way the internet works. They went from we're not going to talk about it to a whole episode. As someone who's watched every LTT video for the past few seconds here, without a doubt, I would trade the daily uploads for a few high quality uploads in a heartbeat. I think people would agree with that. It seems like people are willing, you see 3 key takeaways. Linus made most of the blunders. He should be making most of the apologies. While it's right for other people to involve, people want to hear from him. 6 Sigma's Andon cord has to be just that. The physical world, the Andon cord stops. We're talking about that. And the hardest part, if you're not in charge, you're not in charge. So these are management platitudes. So I'd say that this probably isn't the end, but people are not happy with them. As I said, it's got 75,000 dislikes and 100,000+ people have already unsubscribed. I think more will come out. I think that the situation will get worse because that's how all of these things work. I've been reporting on this for years, so I know exactly how these timelines go. Make sure you follow or subscribe down below so I can keep you updated. I'm sure we'll have more information later today or tomorrow. And it really is unfortunate. And I hope that Linus Tech Tips can get their stuff together. I don't hold any ill will towards Gamers Nexus because I think the points that they made were extremely valid and good. But I think the world is better with a fully functional Linus Tech Tips. They just got to, get this stuff fixed. So awesome. Hopefully that'll happen before they lose, their audience forever, because that's how this stuff happens. That's how this stuff works. People just move on and don't come back. So it's going to be interesting to watch. By the way, I'll tell you this. Hiring millennial women is very risky. Yeah, not Linus didn't attack Gamers Nexus, but one of his one of his staffers made some stupid comment or something like that, right? If I'm remembering that correctly.
NC Debs, what's up?
I think that it's extremely unfortunate, but you know, look, you can't be telling other women, you can't be telling women to twerk for you. Okay, that shit's not okay. It never was okay. However, I don't really know the situation. Maybe they were friendly. Maybe it was an offhanded, off-color remark. You know, she certainly is taking the victimhood lap. You know, like, oh my God, someone said twerk for me, and they weren't immediately fired, and it was just the worst. It was just the worst. I don't think she's lying. I think she did probably report all that stuff. I think that all probably happened. I don't, you know, it'd be one of those things where if you know, a woman came to me with that complaint, you know, when I met with the guy, it would just be like, you're a fucking idiot, man. Now I have to fire you. Great. Was it worth it? You know, because that's the standard now in 2023. Like, yeah, these are the same people that say twerking isn't sexual. But I mean, like, what is he supposed to do now? He's got to fire this guy. He should have fired him immediately, because that's the standard. You know, that's what you have to do in current year. That is, if it's true.
Yeah, that's what I keep saying, if it's true.
I wouldn't have, you know, you just can't say that shit. It's stupid. You can't do it. Like in the modern era, no. Like, you can blame the women, which, I mean, she's clearly dramatic. I'll say that. She's very clearly, you know, being dramatic. But there's literally nothing he can do. He's got to let him go. If she complains about that, that's, you know, that's that guy's own idiot fault. You know, that's just the reality of it.
We don't get many here. The reason I do it here is basically so everybody has the opportunity to drop links that they think are interesting and to check other people's channel that are new. Like I didn't do that, Boris. I know you and
You can't say that shit to women, and you can't. I
I've
mean,
seen you
look,
around,
you can't say
so
it
I
to
know.
men either. But
I basically only want to be the only one
that's
that
the reality.
controls, speech
I
on
don't,
channel.
you know,
I don't know who
I
these
don't
Boris
think.
Johnsons, so.
Let me put it this way.
But
I don't
they haven't said
think
anything weird. I mean, if it's the real Boris Johnson, I got a few words.
that it's that big of a deal. If a woman said to me, "Oh, twerk for me," I would not be offended by that. I would not need to report it to HR. But that's the standard. We don't know if it was a joke. Could have been some creep. I got to take a leak quick.
Yeah, they're all decent folks here. Pretty nice community. I wonder if I can put my affiliate discount on top of that 25% off. So and I get 15. So I would get like 40% off. I get 15. With my link, I think you get 5 or 10. Or my code, inDOCtriNATION. What's this in here? Well, let's find something else. I'll teach you me. He's going to be gone that long. Did Watching the Watchers show up today? Do a stream?
Yeah. All right. I did have a sugar-free Red Bull today. Yes, I did. And look what happened. So, got a couple more topics for you today. By the way, I got an email from the people at TACRite.
Oh, he was later than usual.
The link is in the description below. But their crazy mini chainsaw is back in stock. This stream is sponsored by TACRite, TACRiteQuartering.com. If you go to TACRite Quartering, TACRIGT Quartering, all one word, the link is also in the description. You can pick up their insane mini chainsaw that runs at 88 volts, 50% off. It's been seen on CBS, USA Today, Fox, CNBC, and so much more. Works with one hand. It's easy to install and operate. Highly efficient cutting.
That actually looks pretty cool.
And of course, ergonomic design. You can see it at work right here. Works extremely well.
We got a lot of trees are overgrown in my backyard fence.
TACRite Quartering, TACRIGHT Quartering.com. 50% off. Link is in the description below.
Getting close to that time of year. I'm waiting until the leaves fall before I start pruning back.
Any major Democrat city. This will fit in your purse, ladies. Fellas, it'll fit in a cargo pocket. Link in the description. I'll put it in chat right now. I don't know how often, like how long they'll have them at this price. But there you go. Looking to transition, or you can get two of them, two for the price of one, so you can dual wield. Link is in the description. Hey, I'm not going to say whether or not it's good for bodies. Okay, I can't say that. I'm not sure that's an official use of the TACRite Quartering mini chainsaw. Just saying. So make sure you check that out. Now, there's a newly surfaced. This Rachel Zegler chick is ending up being maybe one of the most annoying people on the planet, maybe in history, forever and ever.
Yeah, she's really fucking her career up.
But it just keeps getting better. Like, it just keeps, the content just keeps coming. Releasing what I would describe as an insane apology video. Now, I don't know if this is brand new or not. It's, sometimes the internet does that, but this is wild. If you've been following the channel for any amount of time, and I hope that you are, and I hope that you've left a nice subscribe down below. You know, I've been covering this Rachel Zegler backlash that's been going on for the last couple of days. Now, initially, the backlash that she got was, I think, unfair. Not this backlash, but for being cast as Snow White, because we know that's what Disney does. Disney is slowly but surely and in a coordinated manner replacing white actors and actresses systematically. They are. Okay. This isn't a weird theory. Ariel, Little Mermaid, used to be a white ginger-haired woman. Now she's a black woman. Snow White, literally in her name, her skin is white as snow. In the words, in the story. A Latinx woman. No more Prince Charming. He's a dirty creeper, according to Rachel Zegler. Well, now a new apology video or weird cope video has hit the internet, and it's making it even worse. Plus, branding experts now warn Rachel Zegler backlash could ruin Disney's big budget Snow White remake and predict executives will be having crisis talks in order to try to win back fans ahead of the 2024 release. Now, this video is sponsored by me, coffeebrandcoffee.com. I'm running a site-wide sale. That's all of our coffee, all of our tea, all of our merch, all of our cocoa, all of our K-cups. The biggest sale I've ever done. Buy more, save more. The more you buy, the more you save, up to 25% off. If you've been waiting to try some of our delicious coffee, tea, or cocoa, one of our 20 or so different flavors, one of our signature blends, the light, dark, Ethiopian, the Colombian, all available in whole bean or ground. We have decaf. We have double calf. We have cold brew. We have so many options for you. If you don't like coffee, tea, or cocoa, guess what? We've got a huge selection of candies. Go to the shop. You can go to the premium snack section. We've got loads and loads and loads of delicious candies. Buttery toffee peanut bombs, roasted salted cashews, spicy sweet treat mix, our deluxe nut mix, our saltwater taffy. The more you buy, the more you save. This week only. Coffeebrandcoffee.com. No promo code required. And you'll be supporting me. We're right here in the United States. The roastery is right here in the United States. We're located in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona. Rachel Zegler's comments about the upcoming live-action Snow White remake could have a huge impact on ticket sales, branding experts have warned. The 22-year-old actress has received plenty of backlash after she admitted that she hated the original 1937 movie and branded the storyline weird while referring to the prince character as a stalker. The big-budget Disney movie is scheduled for release in March 2024 and now has been predicted that executives will be having crisis talks in order to do some serious damage limitation following the negative response to Rachel's stance. The backlash occurred after several videos of Rachel speaking negatively about the original film in various interviews last year were surfaced online, where she said of her version of the character, she's not going to be saved by the prince, she's not going to be dreaming about true love, as well as being labeled a fake feminist. Some critics accused Rachel of gaslighting, and one marketing consultant has warned Disney they will need to be very careful with how they portray Snow White. Speaking with DailyMail.com, branding expert Carla Spite said, whilst it's been clear that the original Disney princess films hold old values, Disney has fallen for the trap of going to the opposite extreme to inflict strong and loaded messaging on viewers, believing that that's empowerment. There was a time when Disney actors were media trained and were thoughtful about the impact of the words while sticking to key messaging about the film. But it seems with the total rewrite of Snow White, picturing her as a boss girl has gone to the head of their stars. Disney will need to be careful with how they have portrayed Snow White and what they do and don't allow their actors to say about it going forward. They simply cannot repeat the same mistakes and allow their actors to be so vocal in their own personal opinions during promotions. It can have a huge impact on ticket sales, especially with the amount of negative backlash so early in the promo trial. They need to get the key messaging and strong selling points into the brief for the cast and film and ensure they stick to it. If they don't, it's a disaster waiting to happen. It's essentially, hey, maybe quiet down. Maybe pipe down. Maybe stop saying you literally hate the source material. Maybe say you don't hate the source material. The internet is absolutely destroying Rachel Zegler, and rightfully so. Her hypocrisy, narcissism, and poor attitude are disgusting and unbecoming. I wonder how many SJW I hate life monologues the new Snow White movie is going to have. Well, certainly plenty.
Hey, Chopper.
The discontent surrounding Rachel Zegler and Snow White reveals that it's not just conservatives or Republicans, but broader audience who are weary of the overused, strong, insufferable female lead trope. And people are tired of it. What is wrong with falling in love? As we've been saying, Disney could have done better with their Snow White casting. And this is and these are TikToks where she's getting dragged. This is from K Mad Drills on TikTok, a compilation of Zegler being caught lying.
I get stopped for photos every time I'm online for the Snow White ride, and it is I have to pretend like, oh God, well, crazy that we're in front of this.
Wait, how long?
It's like I'm standing there waiting for the photo op, being like,
well, you kind of are, you know.
By the way, I never understood the term online. You're not online, you're in line.
no, I guess
Like
so.
if Harrison Ford. Is that your favorite ride? I mean, that's a weird thing that you are Snow White now.
I mean, it's one of the original.
She calls it her favorite ride, but in an interview, she said she only ever rode it once, and it was creepy.
I'm a really big Disney fan. I grew up at the Disney parks. My parents took me every summer.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's like, it is. It's a part of my upbringing. It's my favorite thing. So it's just one of those things that
Yeah,
comes
don't
with the
tell them if you love it. Don't let them scare you.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I
Oops.
watched it once
She's a huge fan, I thought.
and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it.
Wait, I thought it was your favorite ride. Wait a minute. I thought it was your favorite ride.
Never revisited Snow White again.
Whoa. I thought it was your favorite ride.
So I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film.
I'm a narcissist.
Oops. Oopsie. Oopsie doopsie doopsie. This woman is far worse than Brie Larson. And then you see Rachel Zegler, the new Snow White, is the most unlikable actress I have ever heard of. She hates her Snow White character. And after she came out against the original movie, now she's crying over backlash.
Video is going to get taken out of context, and I know that at this point I can't really stop people from doing that because that's what my whole existence on the internet is. Just
Yeah, everyone, you just don't understand, guys. You're too stupid. You're too stupid to get what Rachel Zegler's really about.
me being taken out of context and stuff, which is fine. That's what I signed up for, isn't it?
Oh, woe is her.
But I never want it to come off as me being ungrateful for the opportunities I have when I say that this has been the biggest adjustment of my life, like understanding the way my life operates now, being who I am, and the things that I've been so fortunate to make. It comes with so much ground that I never thought I would be able to cover,
Ground?
and that people think I'm doing poorly, and other people think I'm doing gracefully, and I don't think I'm doing it at all. So when I tell you,
Look at her. She's trying to squirt out a tear. She's literally out here and now, again, when this video is actually, I mean, it's obviously in regards to the backlash for Snow White.
This year too. Sunny and nice. Whoa.
And she's, posting all these like cringe, everybody be nice and be kind things on Twitter. It's not a good look. You know, you know, this is somebody that very clearly is a massive narcissist.
That it's hard.
Oh, it's so hard for her.
I just mean to be inside my brain.
Oh,
That's hard.
Oh,
And I'm there 24/7. I can't get out of it. And
she's literally trying
I
to
don't know
cry.
if that will make sense, but that's where I'm at. I'm so grateful for the things that I'm able to do. And a lot of what I'm able to do is because of you guys. And I'm simultaneously privileged to miss people.
I can't even with this woman. How is somebody going to watch her for 2 hours? And then fresh controversy over Disney Snow White remake as Rachel Zegler reveals she hated the original cartoon and in stalker Prince, whose weird storyline won't be featured in the new movie. I mean, this is more wild. This is more wild than the Bud Light story. I'm sorry, the Brie Larson backlash. Like it's legitimately insane to me that they keep running out these women who are awful. To be fair, men too. Disney has plenty of terrible men that they trot out there, like Billy Porter and all these other insufferable loons. This movie is in huge trouble, and I couldn't be happier about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. But by the way, remember, coffeebrandcoffee.com, link in the description, massive site-wide sale. Buy more, save more right now. Get up to 25% off site-wide. Would absolutely love if today you supported us, or at least checked us out. By the way, shout out Deus Ex Machina Prime for becoming a monthly supporter. Thank you so much. It's so wild. Like, everything this woman says is getting uploaded and just destroyed. By the way, I'll put the link to the coffee store in the description or in the chat, coffeebrandcoffee.com. This is my company. You're supporting me directly. We roast our own. We brew our own. We have merch, candy. We have literally everything you could want. Cold brew, regular coffee, flavored coffee.
Same thing here,
delicious our teas are all organic. Real cacao cocos, and now a massive sale. I can't even believe that, like, this woman is just so unlikable. Just so unlikable. That Rumpel says, as a trans man, I want to play Quasimodo in a Hunchback remake. How do I make that happen? Well, I think first you have to get a TikTok. Then you have to pretend you're obsessed with little kid things. Create like a room of Quasimodo related stuff. And then start making videos every day, tagging anybody at social media at Disney. Talk about how really Quasimodo was trans, and then come up with a wild theory. Now, this is a very interesting story. A California mom has lost her job for speaking at her children's school board meeting. This via Libs of TikTok, and also Jonathan Zachrison also covered this. A mom spoke out at a school board meeting about them injecting gender ideology into the curriculum, something that, you know, many parents have come out and, you know, had their strong opinions on. I think, you know, ultimately, these are things that parents should talk about. They shouldn't be a part of any kind of public education system, right? Leftist activists were fuming and set to her work, tracking down her employer and destroyed her life. Compass, her employer, caved to the mob and fired her. I spoke with Janet, and she shared her frustrations about what's going on in America. Her life was turned upside down, but she stressed she believes parents have to stand up for what's right and protect their kids, and she does not regret speaking out. What's interesting is Compass has now started turning off their replies. This is the right reaction. These corporations should get buried on social media nonstop. They don't get to tweet anymore. It's like Bud Light. Bud Light doesn't get to tweet anymore until they make corrective action. Compass should not be allowed to tweet anymore. Every reply should be filled with people dunking on them. Horrible that you do not support free speech and diversity of thought. Every American must be free to speak and voice their concern without the fear of losing their job. You cave to their mob. I cave to the mob. Nice day for a lawsuit, don't you think? The pushback for firing someone who has an opinion you don't like is going to be far greater than the basement-dwelling leftists that demanded you fire her. I hope you go out of business. Cancel Compass, cowards, disgusting commies. A company of groomers or hateful cowards. You define yourself as simply one or the other. People say, how long till the comments are blocked? Well, they're blocked now. I suspect that, did they block these? Yep, they turned them all off. They were just getting absolutely destroyed. Now, here's
they're
a
going to
video
start
of her
pretty
full
soon up in the
speech that
northern part of
triggered the
Michigan.
insane reaction. She's just a normal mom trying to protect her kids. It's 3 minutes long. And let's see what she has to say.
Hello, I'm Janet Robertson. I have 3 children in the district: elementary school, middle school, high school. At the last meeting, my time to speak was cut short, and there was so much to say about the new sexual education curriculum. I realize the curriculum has already been approved. I also realize that Miss Rice, who I incorrectly was referring to as a doctor last week or last month, explained that only 3 families out of 4,500 students in Benicia voiced concern about the curriculum. Our family has also been told that we can simply have our children opt out of the sex ed classes if we have an issue with the classes. But I would like to say to you, who are entrusted to represent and make decisions for our children, and to the community that may be watching this video, that we have a big concern with what is now being taught to children as young as 10 in Benicia, such as children are being asked to identify their pronouns, and this is now part of the 10-year-old curriculum. This forces a gender discussion beyond the scope of the state requirements and complicates an already overburdened classroom environment.
This is what she got fired for. This is what she got removed from her job for.
We are alarmed that gender identity is now being discussed in math classes. This takes time from core learning and does not benefit the students or our community. Teaching kids that there isn't any standard or truth and that you can believe anything you want to believe is not scientifically accurate or medically correct. For example, the notion that a girl can decide to be a boy or a boy can decide to be a girl is not true and should not be taught. The new curriculum teaches that individuals can decide if they're male or female, regardless of anatomy, does not explain that a boy cannot menstruate and a girl cannot impregnate someone. This is not scientific or medically accurate. Our 10-year-olds will now be taught that they can receive puberty blockers to prevent their body from going through changes that make them uncomfortable. All humans are uncomfortable during adolescence. To teach vulnerable children that a lifetime of dependence on medical care is a viable option is completely unacceptable.
Is anything she's saying up until this point, did she need to get fired from her job? Did she need to have her life ruined for this? And now Elon Musk is in on it. Compass, did you really fire this person for this reason? So Elon Musk gets in on it. Compass, inquiring minds want to know.
And evil, frankly. The new curriculum encourages gender confusion, not gender clarification. All parents should question how this is helpful, scientifically sound, or medically accurate. 12-year-olds will now be taught about oral and anal sex. 12-year-olds. So I get a little emotional about this because I think that's wrong. The Ed Code 51933 requires that instruction and materials should be appropriate for use of pupils of all races, genders, sexual orientations, and ethnic and cultural backgrounds. Teaching children about oral and anal sex violates this law, since several cultures would not find this teaching appropriate. When we asked, we were told the reason the curriculum removes the idea of male and female was to be more inclusive, but no longer identifying females as having ovaries and males as having testes is not scientific, not medically accurate, and not true. It's nonsense. It's not a choice. People are not gender fluid, and to teach our children this is not okay. We're appalled that the school district has adopted this curriculum.
Thank you. Thank you.
If anybody wants information on where to find this information in the curriculum, I've researched it very thoroughly. I'm happy to provide that.
Thank you.
They just couldn't wait to get rid of her. Couldn't wait to get rid of her.
Is Benicia open-minded? Is this a town that values? On April 20th, I spoke at the school board meeting to say I disagree with a company who could have stood up for me and my American right to voice.
Yeah, so Compass, Compass essentially, of course, we're in the Bay Area. She's the vice chair, by the way, looks like. They issued a
for destroying her work in.
Look at this. They, I'm writing to seek official comment from Compass Real Estate's Benicia branch regarding the conduct of Janet Robertson, whom I understand is a Compass employee. Recently, Benicia resident named Billy posted an op-ed to the Vallejo Times-Herald regarding Ms. Robertson's public behavior. Her comments at a recent school board are now a matter of public record. The text of her op-ed are available below. My questions include examples of incendiary language she used to further her agenda, which I described as anti-equity, anti-trans, anti-black, and anti-choice. Is anything she said there any of those things? I can't, absolutely none of what she said was any of those things. None whatsoever, right? I plan to post Ms. Dean's op-ed to the Independent site and email it to our subscribers and supporters. Our post will reach between 1,000 and 1,500 people. Yeah, that's right. 1,100 leftist weirdos are going to get our email. Well, guess what? 50 to 100,000 people are going to see this video. The interview has 2.8 million impressions.
That's cool, NC.
I would be pleased to share a comment from Compass, and I invite you to consider the questions I've asked, essentially begging them to fire her. I personally know Ms. Robertson's values do not reflect the company's values. And Janet, and here's the email, Compass to Janet Robertson. Following up on our phone call, Compass has decided to part ways with you. Managing Director, East Bay. Didn't even put their name on it. Subject disassociation. Now, certainly, Compass is a company that is every bit, in my opinion, deserving of a national boycott, a non-stop barrage of people roasting them on social media, a non-stop barrage of backlash, because what they did, I mean, the speech is, I mean, look at this is July Disability Pride Month. Seems like their disability is understanding freedom of speech. And even if this was like a hard freedom of speech issue, let's say she said something truly heinous and they fired her for it, I wouldn't agree with that. But in this particular case, nothing she said is any of the things that this weirdo emailer put. I'm hoping people start a GoFundMe for this woman because, I'd be happy to support it. And this is wild. So I think excellent work from Libs of TikTok, highlighting the situation, the original reporting by Jonathan Zackerson, and now Elon Musk is in it. So, hopefully the internet will do what the internet does. I mean, it's like, it's not like she said anything. It's like, oh, it'd be like if the plain reptilian lady got fired. Like, she didn't even say anything heinous. Just for saying, hey, I don't want any I don't want any weirdness. I don't want my kids to learn about anal sex at 10 years old. There's a tool, by the way. This stream is being sponsored by TacRightQuartering.com. That's TacRigT.com. TacRightQuartering.com. One word. Where my viewers can get 50% off their insanely powerful mini chainsaw. It's been seen on CBS, USA Today, Fox, CNBC, ABC, the CW, and NBC. It's an excellent piece of gear for the money. Some of the replies say, I could not believe how easily it cut my tree. As you can see, I cut a 5 or 6 inch branch with no problem. I did the whole tree and I still have plenty of power. The saw is unbelievable. And right now for my viewers, that's 50% off. I'm putting the link in the chat right now, and it's also in the video description. It's TacRigT quartering.com. You can use it with one hand. It's easy to install and operate, highly efficient at cutting, and it has a nice ergonomic design. You can see in these videos, it's just cutting away. Right now, for my viewers, it's back in stock and it's 50% off for you. Make sure you pick this thing up. Some yard work. Got to go through some liberal cities. Maybe some people are working on pushing some messaging in schools. There's the link in the comments, and it's also pinned, or it's in the video's description if you're watching this later. If there's some, hopefully there's some left for you to get. Now, from time to time, I like to highlight a good old friend, a friend of the channel, somebody I think is doing excellent work out there. And this particular story is an excellent one. It's one that is going viral on the internet with over 800,000 video views or impressions, I'm sorry, and tens of thousands of likes. A school teacher, quote, freaks out at City Hall.
On Facebook today. Ugh.
Well, in fact, I think we all know who this school teacher is, and it may be one of the best possible satirical moments yet.
The next speaker is Alexander Stein.
Alexander Stein.
Hello, Plano City Council.
He has a ball gag in his mouth, if you can't see this. A suit jacket with a Ukraine flag, purple hair, and a pin that I'm not quite sure what it is.
Remember me? My name is Alexander Stein, and I am an elementary school teacher. I want to apologize that I have to use artificial intelligence to communicate this evening, but my throat is very sore from some nasty gonorrhea in my throat that I got from a glory hole during my trip to El Paso to help all the sex traffickers at the border. Something you may not know about me is not only do I have one of the biggest packages in Dallas County, but I am also a teacher, and I'm coming here today, not to speak about my anaconda, but to warn you guys about the upcoming school year. Ever since Elon Musk took over Twitter, he has amplified the voices of white supremacists like Tim Pool, as well as other racist right-wingers.
Oh, no.
If you don't believe me, the only proof you need is the account, Lips of TikTok, which constantly tries to expose hard-working teachers that are just trying their hardest to teach their students about masturbation and sex.
What's great,
what's
great about this is it's a lost art. I'm not going to play Alex's whole video. I think you should watch it on his Twitter account at AlexStein99. But it's what's great about it is we watch it, and it's like, this is something totally wild and insane, it's also sad and true.
At the elementary school level, and as a fellow teacher at an elementary school.
At this point, they cut the camera feed. It's inappropriate. So they cut off the camera feed. I didn't know that was coming. I like to react to videos in real time when they come out.
It's totally inappropriate. It's inappropriate. Thank you, Mr. Stein.
He has his right to speak. He knows they can't shut him off. And like, these are the stunts that, like, he's speaking truth to power.
It's inappropriate.
Where's the city attorney? Oh, I can't come up here, but you're gonna let teachers indoctrinate kids with pride flags. You're gonna let them teach their sexual ideology to young children there.
Thank you.
But you're gonna try to shove me down. Well, I got this thing. I don't even need your camera angle. I'm just saying you're an idiot. You're limiting free speech. You're actually trying to do something. I'm trying to expose all the pedophilic teachers that are grooming our kids, that are giving kids vasectomies at 14 years old. What about all the gender reassignment surgery? You don't care about that because you like when kids get their penis cut off there. Yeah, you do. Well, then why are you limiting?
You like it because you like it when kids get their stuff chopped off. You like it. By the way, like, based security guard isn't even worried.
My free speech. I'm not just saying, this is going to go to court. I'm going to sue you. You're limiting my free speech. I'm allowed to speak here, and you're limiting my free speech by turning it off. You know what you're doing. Where's the city attorney? Where's the city attorney?
Here he comes. Here's another cop.
I'm just saying, are you having me physically removed? No, when I filed my lawsuit, Mayor, I want to know, am I being physically removed from this building by this cop? Am I being physically removed?
It's timing.
Yes. I'm being physically removed. Okay, so you agree. Just with this.
He's going to win this lawsuit. By the way, they know him. Plano City Council knows him, obviously.
Everybody here, you better not touch me, officer. I'm just telling you, you better not touch me. You're trying to intimidate me.
I agree, NC Dubs. I'm close enough to 60.
I mean,
or 80 years old.
Muchos huevos grandes. I like that he gets right in that cop's face and he's like, back off. He gets right in the cop's face and says, you better not touch me.
You got a lot of balls, Marilyn, but unlike these teachers that want to cut off kids' balls, I keep mine and I want kids to keep theirs. So listen, I can make a scene. I got this on camera. This is better content, Mayor. No, this is better. No, I didn't get my time. You turn off the camera. You turn off the camera. Get off me.
Yeah.
Why are you guys touching me? Get off me. Get off me. Don't touch me again.
I love it.
You just want to gender reassign all these children. You're a coward, Mayor, and you're a loser.
Yeah. I mean, like, I love it. And, like, also, by the way, on his Twitter, you'll see geniusly, he has
My throat that I got from a glory hole during my trip.
He has his
Come here and
POV.
speak, so you know that I know that. So where's the city attorney? Which one's the city attorney? They just shut me down. Where's the city attorney? Get off me! Don't touch me again.
Yeah, Alex.
I'm out here. You just want to gender reassign all these children. You're a coward, Mayor, and you're a loser. You're afraid of free speech. You're a little baby back biatch. You know it. We got it on camera, officer. You guys are removing me, so what am I being removed for? Yeah, okay, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave this meeting.
If you're going to be loud like that, then you're disrupting your perception.
Listen, I'm trying to speak, and
If you're going to be loud, I think these cops probably agree with him. These cops probably agree with him. I love that he just called him a baby back biatch. The mayor. And like, he's at Alex Stein 99, pimp on a blimp, at Alex Stein 99 on Twitter. You should follow him. He has a show on the Blaze, which is also insane, wild every night. Prime time with Alex Stein. I'm not sure what time it is, but you can find him on YouTube as well. I mean, like, I think that this is the stuff. I mean, if you remember, remember when he ran into Brittany Grimes? The thing is, he's gonna sue and he's gonna win. They have to give him his time to speak. You get to voice your opinion to elected officials. We saw this on even on Twitter, where people successfully sued Donald Trump for blocking them on Twitter because he was the sitting president, and he had to say, he had to unblock them. These people were making a career being Donald Trump reply guys, and he blocked them. They sued him, and the court said that he can't do that. You can't remove your constituents' First Amendment right to speak to you, whether it be praise or criticism. So when Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez blocked him on Twitter, I don't know how that lawsuit's going or if it's still going, but based on prior precedent, he should be able to be in her replies. He should win that lawsuit. Now, I don't know if it's different because the president, he's not in her state, so he's not one of her constituents. I don't know if that's a particular thing, but political speech, the Supreme Court has said, is the highest level of protected speech. So, I mean, I think that, and when he got Brittany Griner, the whole thing where like, she's like, oh my God, a guy said mean words. We literally traded somebody who has the nickname, the Merchant of Death, for her. We freed the Merchant of Death so that we could get what many think is a biological man. I don't know. I don't know if there's any proof to that. WNBA player Brittany Griner back. So Alex, some people, they don't like his tactics. I understand that. But he gets results. And I think Alex is a chaotic good.
Still beautiful. You look very beautiful in that dress. You look very sexy. See, am I still beautiful? You look very beautiful in that dress. You look very sexy. Look at that booty on AOC booty.
Look at that booty.
See, to kill babies, but she's still beautiful. You look very beautiful in that dress. I love it. My favorite AOC. Nice to meet you.
I don't know. The video isn't playing very well, but these people should be uncomfortable. It's not like he went to her home. It's not like he went to, he accosted her at some restaurant. She's on the Capitol steps. He's allowed to do that. So absolutely based hero Alex Stein. He's going to be a big star. And I've always had a good relationship with Alex, and he's actually going to be on my live show, maybe either this Friday or next, one of the next coming up Fridays. He'll be here. And I look forward to asking him about his latest stunt at Plano, Texas City Council meeting, which absolutely is amazing. And it does, it's like you're kicking him out for talking about the stuff you're teaching kids. It's a hilarious cell phone. So shout out to Alex. By the way, if you're just tuning in, about 4,000 beautiful people out there. If you haven't yet, I'm not going to ask you to buy anything or anything like that. Here's my face looking down, right? This is the video. There's 3,900 of you here. I'm going to ask you to do two things. If you haven't yet, please create a Rumble account and follow me. There's a green button below here that says follow. If you're not following me, click that to follow so you actually get notified when I go live. But I do go live every day from 12 Central till 2 Central. So we're at the end of the show time slot now. But I really would love to see you every day here in the stream. I cover all the daily news. Some of the stuff goes to my YouTube and Rumble channels. I also upload 4 to 5 standalone videos a day. So I'd love to get you to tune in and then check out obviously the standalone videos. Once you have an account, get involved in the chat. It's a lot of fun in there. It's very respectful. You can meet some new people, and I really want to build an awesome chat. And if you haven't yet, please do click this thumbs up button right here. There's only 400 thumbs up. We have 4,000 people watching. So if you haven't yet, please do click that Rumble Up button. And lastly, you don't have to do this, but the best way to support the show is by clicking this join button right here to back me on Locals. We'll do monthly members only videos there. And it's $5 a month. It's a few bucks, but it goes a long way. If you back there, I would be greatly appreciative. It helps to support the team. You know, I've got 2 full-time video editors that do my meme intros and all these things. I've got a thumbnail guy, Ben, who does all my thumbnails and my graphics. So it's not just me that puts these together. We have a full-time team of 4 employees, probably going to be 5 starting this week, because I think I'm going to do that social media thing and see if it's worth the money. But yeah, we're growing. We've got 148,000 viewers. I'm sorry, 148,000 subscribers. I'm really hoping we can get our followers out here on Rumble. I'm really hoping we can get to 150,000 this week. I'm going to make another announcement on my YouTube channel to promote it. And make sure you get your tack right quartering chainsaw if you haven't yet. And my coffee company, Coffee Brand Coffee, is doing
Use the
a
code
huge buy
indoctrination.
more, get more sale right now. Save up to 25% off. We have coffee, tea, cocoa. I roast it all. We grind it all. The process is us from soup to nuts. This isn't some drop shipping organization. We have 5 or 6 full-time employees now at Coffee Brand Coffee between the roasting and the fulfillment. And we could use your support. Bonus, we have an amazing product. We have our available K-Cups. We have our regular coffee. We have 12 different organic teas. We have cocos. And we also have merch. We have candy. So I'm hoping that you'll check out coffeebrandcoffee.com as well. If nothing else, I ask this favor every time, each day. At least go and check out the reviews. And if you're not a coffee drinker, or if you're not a tea or candy or K-Cup person, maybe you know someone who is, because we have 5,140 reviews with an average review score of 4.8 out of 5. And one of those 1-star reviews is somebody like making a joke, saying that, haha, I wanted everyone to see this, but your coffee's really good. So these are all satisfied customers. We have gift boxes, all sorts of stuff. So I really hope I could earn your business today. So coffeebrandcoffee.com. Tomorrow we'll be back. Let me see who we have for Friday's show. I want to see who we have for Friday. Do you guys remember who I said will be on? I wonder if it's actually Alex. It is this Friday. It's Alex Prime. It's prime time. Alex Stein. Alex Stein will be here on Friday. I knew he was coming up, so it'll be perfect timing. Then next week it's Salty Cracker. Then after that it's Lauren Chen. Then it's Amaranth, Caitlin Sigarusa. Then Viva Frey, Count Dankula, Harley Morenstein from Epic Mealtime, Mark Dice. I'm booked up through November. So I'm going to try to get some more people, get us booked out to the rest of the year. So I would love to get your suggestions on who I should have on the show. You can always tweet them at me and let me know. Last week we had Alex Jones. The week before that, we had why can't I think of his name? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Bryson Gray. So we have lots of stuff. How did I get Amaranth? Well, staying consistent. So I've got an awesome show coming up for you Fridays. Make sure you follow down below. Before you leave a like. Check out the chainsaw. Check out the coffee. Support the channel. And we'll see you tomorrow at the exact same time.
All right.
We were done with the Donald Trump indictments. We're not. There's another one that got dropped. This one came out from Fanny Obama.
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, no.
I'm here with the prosecutors and investigators who have worked diligently on the investigation of criminal attempts to interfere in the administration of Georgia's 2020 presidential election.
Fifth indictment?
Today, based on information developed by that investigation, a Fulton County grand jury returned a true bill of indictment.
It's Fanny
charging
Obama, look.
19 individuals
Fanny
with
Obama.
violations of Georgia law arising from a criminal conspiracy to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election.
It's crazy
in
how
this
good that
state.
is. Isn't that nuts? That's what she
The
said. That's like her.
indictment
They just
includes
morphed it into
41
Obama.
felony counts and is 97 pages long. Please remember that everyone charged in this bill of indictment is presumed innocent.
It might as well be
Specifically,
Obama.
The indictment brings felony charges against Donald John Trump.
Weird. It's weird. It's pretty weird. That's actually her. That's exactly what she said. They just turned her voice into Obama and they put Obama's face on top of it. And it's like, that is what C3P meme did. This is like what some guy did. Hilarious. C3P meme.
Thank you for joining us.
Meme maker.
I'm here with the
Absolutely great. So yeah, Trump's got another one. Maybe we'll see one Obama Jack Smith or Obama Letitia James. Basically should be doing all the prosecutions anyways. All right. Well, it is Wednesday, my friends. It's a beautiful Wednesday. It's August 13th. And we're seeing what's happening out there around the world on this lovely day. We've got the in-town pool call time. So they'll have a little bit of press activity this morning. The president gets the daily briefing. And then, so Kareen's going to be here, which is going to be fun. So Kareen had a little bit of a goof up yesterday.
Did you see that?
Where
so now you know who's doing these tweets.
A presidential tweet from her account. And I think somebody mentioned that yesterday. Of course, we've got the comments from yesterday, and I have another story that I wanted to hit about charities and how they're influencing the elections. But this one came over from Simone Ateba, the guy that Kareen is very racist against in the White House. You know, he's from Africa News, and they just constantly ignore him. It's very Today News Africa, yeah. So he says, oh, wow, they tweeted from the wrong account. Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre has not run for president, at least to the best of my knowledge. She posted this: investing in America means investing in all of America. When I ran for president, I made a promise that I would leave no part of the country behind. You go, hey, Karine, wrong account, yo. You got to switch the account. You know, you can't tweet from your burner like this, or that's not even her burner. That's her official account. So, all right, that makes sense. That's why the country is the way it is because she's running it mostly, including the tweets. Joe Biden's like, Twitter, and then she just posts it. So, all right, so she's going to get some questions about that today, I expect. she'll, I don't know, maybe she'll defer this to the press secretary's office. I can't answer any questions about that. I'll have to defer you to the press secretary. But you are the press secretary. Oh, yeah. Well, I still defer it. Next question. Domestic policy advisor Neera Tanden's going to be there. Senior advisor to the president, John Podesta. Oh, he's back in the fray. Gross. John Podesta from that disgusting family. Yeah, John Podesta. They've got that weird hot dog stuff going on, a bunch of weird stuff with this family, including that disgusting picture of like a dead mutilated body in their house. Yeah, very strange individuals. But they basically are running things, right? He's been around forever. He's been in the Obama administration, Bill Clinton administration, the Barack Obama, he was there. He was working very closely with Hillary until she lost multiple times. You know, Hillary's lost twice for the presidency. Gosh, what a total loser. But this is a very shady person. And so, of course, he is lurking around the White House, probably controlling most of it at the behest of the Obamas. Yeah, worked there as the deputy chief of staff in the Clinton White House. Been around forever. These guys are part of the permanent state, age 74. And it's just been, there he is with Obama. Now he's back in charge with Biden. So it's just like a lifer there. All right, but he'll be there. Well, he'll hear some questions from him. Very strange. I think his brother is more of the weird one and has like very troubling art. It's like mutilated children and stuff. The president delivers remarks on the anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act. Oh, yeah, we got a couple sprinkles yesterday. I think we had like 11 or 12 raindrops yesterday, so maybe it's working. A key part of Bidenomics that is investing in America, reducing costs for hardworking families. Does anybody believe that at all? Making the tax code fair and the biggest investment in climate action in history, whatever that means. So the biggest grift. There's a Twitter account called Wall Street Silver that's been posting a lot of like very depressing videos about people and their economic hardships. And I think a lot of the people he's been posting are from Canada. But yeah, he's been posting a lot of these. Wall Street Silver. Inflation's running out of control. I can't keep up. My salary and inflation with this poor young man. Yeah, this poor guy. Feel you, bro. Can't keep up, man. And it's just nonstop. Everywhere we turn, it's just more and more inflation. And yeah, a lot of stuff in Canada going on. Anyways, so that's what's happening at the White House. Not a lot of activity. Tell us about economics. Okay. Nothing happening in the Senate. I checked that out. So they're still out. We know the House is out this week. Senate's gone. They're not doing anything either. We had some other interesting posts. Oh, yeah, this one was interesting. So I was curious about the interest in the Georgia indictment. And man, it was big numbers for the left. They were super excited about it. You see MSNBC 9 p.m. coverage of Trump's indictment, which included Maddow's interview with Hillary, led all of TV, 3.9 million, beat Hannity by 1.5 million. Whew. MSNBC, man, they're excited. These people are so thrilled about this. They've been living this for the last year. I mean, years, coming up on a decade. They've been so just salivating over this indictment. Boom, it drops. And look at these numbers. MSNBC, everybody tuned in. They're just loving it. Let's see. Readouts, beat with Ari. Rachel Maddow crushed at 5:38. Of course, that's when the indictment was coming out. Everybody tuned in. Yeah, and I see a lot of people just celebrating. Yay, yay. You got him out of Georgia. Way to go, Georgia. Kind of psychotic. But yeah. Hannity got blown out, of course, over there on Fox News. Not a big surprise. But all right, let's see what we've got going on in the House. Yeah, I see some of the artwork over there. So we'll leave that off the screen. But yeah, that's some of the artwork. It's pretty troubling indeed. Pretty troubling indeed. First Amendment. No, you're good. I'm just not going to put it on the screen. You're free to share it. I'm just not going to put it on the screen. No problems. Let's see who's here today on this lovely, lovely day. We've got First Amendment in the House. Good to see First Amendment. Says Dershowitz, we must await the presentation of evidence and the cross-examination of witnesses to assess the actual strength of the case. I predict that the case will be weaker and more subject to challenge as it progresses to trial and verdict. Good comment from First Amendment. We got Political Moms here. We got 24/7 Live, AZ Skies. We got Vienti Kiss. Jigum's here. Says they miss Trump. They live for Trump. They live for Trump. I think they're often very miserable, so they just get validation out of watching other people who they hate and are invested in fall, which is kind of a strange, a strange state of affairs. Like, I got a lot of problems with Biden. I got a lot of problems with a lot of people, but I don't actively make a part of my life like becoming thrilled when they get indicted. I think it's kind of a toxic way to live. And we can comment on it. We can hold them accountable and all of that stuff. But if you get like a victory satisfaction of, it's a troubling thing to be excited about. Certainly justice is justice, and that's a good thing. But it's like they've been just salivating for this for years and years and years, and it's almost their whole purpose of existence. When I saw people on social media like, yes, it's here, finally, victory. It's like, what? Your whole life is based around Donald Trump getting indicted? It's kind of strange. Like how invested have you been in this? It's strange. A lot of people like that, though. I think it's quite toxic. We've got Janine Shaner. We got Julius VC. We got Michael Allen Hughes is here. What's up, K Bean? Gloria's here. Pickle Jars for Hillary says Google Podesta. Yeah, I'm not going to do any of that. I've done that before. I've gone down the Podesta rabbit hole. It's troubling. It's troubling indeed. Yeah. Yeah, it's not good. Gloria B's here. We got James Hicks. Says waiting for x-rays at the VA and licensing until they call my name. Luckily, they are pretty quick here. Good for you. Well, hopefully you're getting better and doing well. 18-pack of Blue Farm eggs from Where's JC says $8 at Costco. Sweet Potato says eggs were like 13 for a flat, but now they're 8. What was the original price before they're 8? So like it went way up and it came back down, but it's still up dramatically. Like what did eggs cost in 2019 before COVID? $4.99. So they've about almost doubled. Outstanding. Christina has a great point here. Says you need to wash your car, and then obviously it's going to rain, which is a great point. I forgot about that little hack, that little life hack. Maybe I'll do that today, and then just bless Arizona in hurricane level rain after I wash my car. I paid Taco Rack says I paid $12 for 5 dozen at Costco.
Michael Malice is coming up.
So that seems like it's a pretty good. Yeah, John says don't Google Podesta art. Yeah, spirit cooking and all that stuff. Psychos. Very strange, demonic behavior to engage with the dark arts. Troubling. K Bean says it was $1.30 a dozen for eggs in 2019. That's kind of what I remember. I thought eggs were almost like disposable. You know, you could just buy them. It's sort of a staple. You just buy it every time. And you didn't have to think about $13 for $1 an egg. It was crazy. Yeah, under $2. Yeah, it was under $2. Funny. Hey, all right. So we got the good doctor says the Georgia may be a weak case, but perhaps it's more about getting pretrial jail time. Are the rules in Georgia comparable to New York? So I think you're asking about the bond rules, the bail rules. And I don't know. You know, I haven't taken a deep look at them. Either way, I don't know. So I think you're right about that, NY. Like they might act. So I think they're going to book him. They're going to take a mugshot. Like they want that. I think they want the mugshot really to drop, and that will probably happen. But I don't know that they're going to incarcerate him. And Trump is really going to muddy this up. Like it's going to be outstanding to watch, because everything that he presents on Monday. Remember, Trump is going to come back with on Monday, a full press release briefing explaining why he still thinks the election is rigged. And he just got charged with like a bunch of crimes for that, for saying that. So are they going to charge him again? Are they going to charge him with releasing information that's threatening witnesses or they might charge that statement, that press release, as another crime, right? Because his speech is already being charged. The things he says, right? His tweets are being charged as acts and crimes. So if he comes out on Monday and says, no, I still think it was rigged, they might just say, oh, great. That's another indictment. That's another charge. Add it. Because how is it any different than anything else he's done? So then that happens. Okay, so they charge Trump again. Then he just keeps speaking. He probably speaks harder. What are they going to charge him again? Are they going to charge him with violating a court order or witness tampering or witness intimidation or any of these things? What's the response going to be? And then is Trump ever going to, they could issue an order to show cause. They could order him into custody. And then Trump could say, no, I'm not coming to your state. Sorry. Are they going to send marshals out to arrest him after the fact and drag him into custody? It's really going down a bad path. This is why you don't really do this stuff. They're going to try to make him go broke with legal expenses. That's another good concept. You know, they could do like an Alex Jones thing, you know, where they fine him $100 billion for wrecking America. And they say, sorry, we got to take everything from you. You've got a lot of properties, a lot of hotels. Yeah, if he got arrested, I worry that's the last hair and it'll be chaos for America. I think you're right about that. I think you're right. But they might do it. Because I think they also want to instigate something else to happen. Nobody's really buying January 6th. I mean, half their people are buying it, but most of the mainstream is not. So what's going to happen is they're going to need to really escalate something. So it's, you know, problem, solution, cause, reaction. They'll do something to try to trigger some people. Then maybe the FBI will cause another thing to happen, and then they'll exploit that again. And this is another reason why they need more power, more authority, stuff like that. Yeah, J6 didn't get as violent as they wanted. Yeah, they really wanted a lot more. Trying to instigate it. 18 U.S. Code. Question about this. Does this apply to Fulton? Well, this is a federal code, federal statute. So for removal? Yeah, so Mark Meadows is already talking about removal. So yes, Mark Meadows is probably already using the statute for federal removal. So that's actually coming up on the queue. I'm very likely going to pull that filing because Mark Meadows has already tried to remove it to federal court, which I think is the right move. And as we saw yesterday in the actual indictment, there are filings all over the place. Like he's talking about Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania, all that. So, okay, if this is a national case, it should be in federal court. If it's a state case, then it should be about Georgia and the Georgia jurisdiction. If they move Meadows to federal court, does that move the whole case? Well, I think the argument would be that, yeah, it moves the whole case. And that the federal government should take it. And then that makes it interesting because then does that mean that Trump can pardon himself once it is a federal case? I mean, you'll hear, I think you'll probably hear people object to it and agree to it, and then they'll ultimately make a decision. And it's either going to be handled in federal court because it's a federal matter, or it's going to be handled in state court. But I would argue, based on the way that the RICO charge was crafted, it's a federal type of matter. I mean, she's going all over the country. So, all right, let's catch up on yesterday's comments. We got this one from Mr. MVP. This was this morning. It says, put your face in the public in today's information age, and with single strokes, all informational dirt can be had on anyone. Yeah, I'm actually little concerned about that there, Mr. MVP, and I'm investigating solutions to that problem. Rai-T says, I can't be the only one who's suspicious at the fact we all carry around cameras, microphones, GPS everywhere we go. A device that's got our fingerprint, face print, voice print, unique makeup. Does this not alarm anybody else? Yeah, it's alarming, but we've all acquiesced to it. I mean, your front-facing camera could be on the entire time. You have no idea. Could be recording all your screenshots. You have no idea. And it's could be uploading literally everything you do everywhere you go. Basically is uploading everything you do everywhere you go all the time. But we all really, really like Twitter though. So you got to balance it out, you know. It's hard to balance. All right, so good comments there. Let's see what we had yesterday. Where do we? Oh, okay. Yeah, we got some more comments from yesterday. It's Jake from Oxford talking yesterday about all the news. Says, oh, I almost forgot, my bad. But I'll give you my prediction of the prosecution and their most probable line of attack, all on my podcast. Robert, tune in tonight to my podcast called Epstein's Island is Misunderstood. It's just a Toys R Us. Changed my mind at 11:59. Even Jake Sullivan has a podcast. Yeah, maybe you should invite Ted Cruz on and you guys could have a conversation. Fly for Vino says, Boys R Us. I'm not sure why they needed 2 or 3 flight attendants when Bill Clinton was the solo passenger. The handwritten flight logs were enlightening, but the fix is in. Everybody went free so long as Epstein did not reoffend and convicted. Acquired Vincent Foster syndrome from Fly for Vino. Yeah, bizarre situation there. Of course, all covered up. This Never Silent says, exposing the exposers. Truth is hard to deny in the sunshine, baby. Great show. That's right. We got to expose it. And then we can see exactly what's going on. So Right T's back. Right T says, hi, Rob. Hi, everyone. Long time no speak. No worries if you don't remember me. I'm so happy to be back. I haven't been here since late November, early December. Well, I do remember you. I meant to be back quick, but my life changed in December for the better. Woo! I met an amazing American girl. Oh, and she's staying with me in England for a while. I've never been happier, in a happier, more loving situation, and I'm ever so grateful. Sorry for boring you all. Not boring at all. It's incredible. I was just excited to be back and share with you why I've been gone. I'll be here more. A lot has changed with you in the channel, so I have a lot to catch up on. Keep it up, Rob. Good luck with the website. Love you and love you all. What a great story. Yes, and 3 Girlies is confirming, says, we remember you. Welcome back, of course. So happy to hear the good news. What a fun story. Thanks for sharing that. Love is in the air, my friends, and it is possible. What a beautiful thing. It's inspiring there, Right T. Maybe I should find a nice English girl. All right, well, we'll see. All right, 3 Girlie says, it looks like Mark Meadows is trying to get this put into federal court. Yes, why wouldn't the case against Trump by Jack Smith supersede the case by Fani Willis? Or is this just Mark Meadows part of the case? So, yes, so great question. I mean, I think personally there is a lot of overlap. Like the Georgia case is what I was expecting the January 6th DC case to look like. Like it would go into all of the other states and it would be a federal investigation that branched the entire nation. But they didn't do that for some reason. And Fani did. And there was a lot of conversation about this, like which one is going to supersede the others and which one goes first in time. And I think Fani has said she's not talking to Jack Smith. And we've read some articles about that. Like they're actually not talking. I don't know if that's true or not, but I can't imagine that's still the case. That was a while ago. Now they have to be talking because somebody's got to go first. And if Jack Smith is thinking about bringing a bunch of other J6 charges, which I think he is, I think we'll see a superseding indictment there, then there is going to be overlap between Fani's case. And traditionally, the states defer to the feds. Like we saw this pattern play out we literally saw this exact pattern play out in New York. So Alvin Bragg filed. Donald Trump tried to remove it to federal court. The Fed said no. It's back down in state court now. And Alvin Bragg has said, I will defer to Jack Smith. So if Jack Smith wants to go first, then go first. And in all actuality, sometimes, the feds sometimes one prosecutor will bring charges and then the other prosecutors will drop them because the penalty is so bad it encompasses all of the lesser cases. But yeah, my argument if I was Jack Smith would be, yeah, it supersedes Fani. And I would imagine that Fani would defer to him. But at this point, she hasn't been clear about that. So yeah, I want to go through the actual removal filing probably tonight on the show. If I can pull that. I think it is pulled somewhere. So we'll get into that. Thanks, 3 Girlies. Poupée says, here is the link to Derek Johnson's summary of the events and the corresponding laws, codes, and statutes. I take exception to a few because my reading of the codes is very different. But in the big picture, I totally agree. I've been meaning to talk to him about it, but life gets in the way. He put a lot of time and effort into the blueprints. It may behoove peeps to have a read so they know what's coming when Trump plays the Trump card. This is from, let's see where this link is from. Okay, so we've got a big document here. Outline of the blueprint. Looks like some interesting research here. All right, cool. Well, I'll keep that open. Thanks for that, Poupée. And this guy's name is Derek Johnson. Very curious. Thanks, Poupée. Good to see you in the house. We've got Heather, 3 Girlies, says a question from Truman on the feed. Has the government ever offered immunity without some consideration, as in why, absent some exchange, would the government give such a thing? Oh, I'm sure they have. Yeah, I'm sure they've just given people blanket immunity and come up with some justification for it. But why would they give it such a thing? Corruption. I mean, it's just corrupt. The prosecutors are supposed to be prosecuting people. So they generally either get something or they're corrupt. They're covering for somebody for some other reason that's not actually benefiting the government. Like, why did the DOJ offer Hunter the deal? Why? Did he give them something? Did he give them information on other actual criminals?
What's
Was
up,
he
Trey?
did he do a free talk where he
Check out
just
Twitter,
told
huh?
everybody everything and they're going to go investigate
Or, I mean,
Burisma
Twitch.
and all of his business
You see
partners,
that?
and they're going to go after the Chinese CEFC company? No, they're not going to do any of that. They just gave him a deal. Why? I don't know. Because it's the president's son. Yeah, it's sick. Here, Vis Never Silent says, wow, smart chat room. I look forward to your show. Reading the comment section. Stay safe, everyone. Indeed, Vis Never Silent. We got the smartest chat in the whole interwebs. Former says, this is state trial in Georgia, so attorney-client confidentiality is still in effect. Can they use the info from the feds to prosecute in Georgia? Well, I mean, it depends on what the judges want to do with this. Like, the feds are currently using their DC information in Florida. The judges might call them out on that.
Oh,
we don't really
Poga.
know where Fannie got all of her information. Did she, gather it independently, or did she get it from the feds? I don't know. I don't know where she got the info. She might be saying that she did not get any info from them, and this is all subject of her investigation. But yeah, I mean, they can try to do whatever they want unless the defense or the judge throws it out. Then they throw it out. And Former says, you purchased your first subscription 30 months ago? Oh my goodness. That's like at the very beginning, Former. You've been around forever. That's like, I don't even know. I can't even math that, how many babies that is. That's a lot of babies. So, man, thank you, Former, for being here for so long and for being such a great community member and for always contributing and jumping in the chat and the comments and for being a former LEO and bringing all your expertise. We appreciate you. Poupe says, I think this summarized interview Lynn Wood did with the whistleblower is something everyone should read. Tells who Mike Pence really is, speaks to the hammer and scorecard that they use to steal elections. Dennis Montgomery is a whistleblower who wrote programs that were used for foreign spying. Obama, Brennan, used on everyone. Dennis is dying to speak out on Bush's White House counsel, made him sign a top secret NDA. That means he would be tried for treason if he revealed this unless a president releases him. I heard it was on Trump's desk, but for unknown reasons, he didn't sign the release. Try to find the original transcript. It is sickening. That is interesting. Yeah, if you were able to find that transcript. But I mean, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure of it. I'm sure there were so many shenanigans that took place there at the end. Thanks, Poupe, for that one. Heather, 3 girlies, shout out to the youngest girlie, says, wait a minute. She can't charge out of her jurisdiction. How can she charge crimes that are not in her jurisdiction? Yeah, it's a good question. Wouldn't this automatically push it to a different jurisdiction if the charges are not in her jurisdiction? And if this is a different state completely, wouldn't that be a federal issue? So I think what Big Fanny is doing is she's actually not, she's saying those acts, all of those various acts were not actual crimes. They're just acts that are indicia, they're indicators of a conspiracy which took place in Georgia, and the acts of racketeering took place in Georgia, but the acts that support the conspiracy may have taken place outside of the state. But a deeper dive on that would be very interesting. Like, I wonder what percentage of the indictment is out of state acts versus in-state acts. But yeah, I mean, I think this is all novel, new. She's trying to cobble together what is otherwise legitimate free speech, legitimate electoral efforts, and bundle them into a state crime. So I would say that yeah, this type of an investigation is basically why we have the federal government, so that they can investigate all of the different things across the states. Fannie's trying to be like a federal prosecutor. So I don't know what Jack Smith's going to do about it, or what the government's, what the federal courts are going to do with it, with removal. Leslie Tonkin says, you said stand back and stand by. I did say that yesterday. I know. I caught myself when I said that. Uh-oh, I'm going to get indicted for that one. The Antics says, for some reason, I can't put images on locals, but I put some memes on the meme map for you on Twitter. All right, I'll check that one. We had to skip Twitter yesterday. Former says, I like big butts. That's nice. good for you, former. Yeah, you know, they're not bad. Antics says, I sometimes point out about an old Wiccan saying, that which you send out comes back ×3. It's interesting how truths of how life and former work people become adopted by religion. So the more zealous people readily accept them. But such a saying is really just an acknowledgement that there is no isolated system. It also points out that people will do for you what you do for them, do to you what you do to them. And there are more other people than you. I'm the current book I'm writing, number 4. There was going to be a line near the end that reads something like, beware of giving someone a sentence when justified, as it may be said against you when unjustified. And there's a post-bird chat. Thanks, Fee, for that comment and for the help on that yesterday. Tingsha says, Rob, I don't know how accurate or applicable this might be, but the Teapot Dome scandal is forgotten. Comes from Wikipedia. Eventually, the investigation uncovered Secretary Fall's shady dealings, and Senator Walsh became a national hero. Fall would end up as the first former cabinet officer to go to prison. This and a subsequent Senate inquiry triggered several court cases testing the extent of the Senate's investigative powers. Thank you much for your robust commentary. Thank you, Tingsha. The Teapot Dome scandal. I don't know what that is. I remember the name, but I'm having trouble placing what that was specifically. Bribery scandal. Warren Harding.
Oh, shit. Was that about his?
Looks like they
his
leased
wife?
Navy petroleum reserves in Wyoming to private oil companies at low rates without competitive bidding. Seminal investigation by Walsh. Convicted of accepting bribes from the oil companies, Fall became the first presidential cabinet member to go to prison. No one was convicted of paying the bribes. Wow. That's an interesting one. Before the Watergate scandal, Teapot Dome was the greatest and most sensational scandal in history. Permanently damaged Harding administration. Congress passed legislation still in effect today to give Congress subpoena power over tax records of any U.S. citizen. These laws are also considered to have empowered Congress generally.
I think he's from Fremont, Ohio.
The lease terms were very favorable to the oil companies, which secretly made Fall a rich man. He received a no-interest loan for $100,000. He received other gifts totaling $6 million. While the leases were legal, the transactions were not. Interesting. The sudden improvement in his standard of living raised suspicions. So Fall started buying Ferraris and mansions, and he got a big swimming pool. He started posting on Instagram. He's like, yeah, baby, living lavish. He paid up his ranch taxes, posted that on TikTok. 10 years past due. He's like, I'm free, baby. Yeah. And so they started investigating him. That's a good thing. All right. Thanks, Tingsha. Says, continued, convicted of accepting bribes, he became the first president member to go to prison. Yeah, it's pretty much kind of what's happening here. It's like Ghislaine Maxwell goes to prison, right? But none of the people who use her services are even considered. It's like, whatever. Not even a big deal. Three girlies. This is Viva talking about the correct legal remedy. Super funny. Viva's great.
Gamer says 156 is awesome, Viva. Please read it. Well, geez, Luis, I can't ignore that now. Hold on a second. Where were we? 156. You know why it's going to be a good one? Because 1 + 5 = 6. Just made that up. Snip and clip this away, people. I want to send this to people I know who are baffled by the bullshit, but I've ceased being a zealot. There's the expression, a zealot is someone who never changes their mind or the subject. I do not engage in this conversation with people who are not interested in engaging in the conversation. So I don't want to be the zealots. But I have a number of people I would like to send snippets and clippets of this stream from. All right, Rivka, let's hear it. Act 156. British voice, golfer's voice, on or about the 17th day of December 2021. Oh, we are way back in time now. We have gone from November 2020. November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. Nearly a year later, Donald John Trump committed the felony offense of solicitation of violation of oath by public officer in violation of OCGA sections 16-4-7 by unlawfully soliciting, requesting, and importuning Georgia's Secretary of State Brad Ratfaceburger a public officer to engage in conduct
Oh, that's
constituting the
fucking
felony
cool,
offense
man.
of violation of
Pretty good
oath of
read.
public office by
Pretty good read there,
unlawfully,
Viva.
quote, decertifying the election.
Oh,
How
that's so
dare the
cool.
bastard have said that? Or whatever the
gonna
correct
play this on here.
legal remedy.
Okay, sweet. I'm
Rivka? Ding,
Let me see
ding,
if there's
ding,
7
ding,
here.
ding. We have
I think I
a
have Discord
winner.
on
A
this
winner.
one.
I'm going to go back to them. But his felonious criminal gang RICO act was, and I'm quoting, decertifying the elections or whatever the correct legal remedy is and announce the true winner, end quote. In willful and
That's sweet.
intentional violation of the terms of the oath of said person, as prescribed by law with intent that said person engage in said conduct. What was that said conduct again? I have to say it again. The correct legal remedy. Indict his ass and put him in jail. This was an overt
Oh, I'm not
act
gonna drop it
in
in
furtherance
chat,
of the
'cause it's
conspiracy
right.
of finding whatever the correct
Never mind.
legal remedy is.
Let me just do it this way.
You can't make this up. To
Um,
quote the great Robert Grobert. And just because I want to actually I have to show Rivka's Rumble rant. That's okay. It's not getting better than that.
That's
Rivka,
fine.
the Jade Gamer. 150.
Good stuff
The
from
phone
Viva.
pulled
Good
it
accent, Viva.
quickly.
Pretty good accent there, Viva.
That's-
Maybe he can
well, it's
do
on the same Wi-Fi
some,
as my laptop here, so
some voice acting or something. Yeah, it's good voice. We got R. Taylor says Hillary said we don't know what Georgia charges are. She's just going to list those on the 97 pages. Well, the charges came before that. So it's all those various obstruction and, they're all listed on the indictment. It says also, when can the taxpayers put a stop to these DAs from wasting tax dollars on these train wrecks to distract from Hunter, Ukraine, fentanyl, child trafficking, all the things? Good question. Well, those things are big problems that are often hard to solve, and they'd rather just use their political capital to go after their political enemies. It's a lot easier for them rather than solving anything. Louis says that was terrible camera work in the Georgia courtroom. They should have hired Pelosi's daughter. Yeah, she's a pro at filming shows. The judge looks like he's trying out for the next role in the next rendition of the People's Court, also known as the Deep States Court, from Louis D. in the House. Yeah, if they're going to be setting up, fake insurrections, fake prosecutions,
find an email.
Fake competence. Well, just add that one to the
Show you
list.
guys something real quick.
We got Taco
Grobert.
Rex here. Did Viva say the great Robert Gouveia? No, he said Grobert. Grobert is another content creator out there. Grobert is another good one.
Of course, Discord's got to do
Viva
it.
Maga says, Rob,
I've
here
been open
is
to hear
Rob
forever.
on Sidebar with Viva and Barnes. I watched it live on 3/17. Great show from Viva Maga. Yeah, that was a long time ago, man. I think that was one of my first times on with those guys.
Oh, wow.
If not the first time.
It's been a while.
Super funny. Yeah, Viva should do the accent, the French-Canadian accent. Yeah, maybe Viva could come on and we could do a transcript read together. He could play a role and I could play another role. He could be the judge with his very proper accent, like the judge. That's sustained. And then I can play the other parts, That'd be fun. He did read one in your voice as well yesterday. It didn't really sound like you, but he tried. Viva's great. Yeah, Viva's a lot of fun. A few super chats, says KB. All right, yeah, let's definitely make sure we got those. Thank you for clipping those.
All right, let me see.
Oh, here's this one from.
Messages.
Oh, did we miss this one?
Oh,
Yeah, did we miss this one? Yeah, John Allen says, Rob, Elijah Schaefer and Sydney Watson on You Are Here, they would spend an hour plus trying to speed read through just super chats. That show is canceled because of other issues, but I'm just expressing how difficult this will become. Yeah, we had a lot of them yesterday, and I was trying, and I'm super grateful for them, and it's like, they're such great questions. So it's like, I have a
Not
difficult
logged in
time. It's
to
like,
my
I could probably
OneDrive
spend,
here,
because I'm so verbose,
I'm sure I remember the
I could probably
password.
spend 10 minutes on each super chat. It's like, great question. I love the thought. Let me talk about it. Here's what I think about this. Let's talk about this concept from 1700s, whatever, And then I look, I'm like, look at the clock. I'm like, oh, we're running out of time, man. Maybe sunshine, 18 months. Woo! Maybe. All right. We'll have to come back and say thank you on YouTube Let's see if we can remember that one. And then these came in, I think. Oh, this one came in. Oh, that's today. Maybe you're here right now. Maybe Sunshine, you're here with us this morning. Woo! 18 months. That is a long one, and that's on YouTube. So that is definitely two babies really close together. I think I learned yesterday that not ideal. The women in the chat were saying two back-to-back babies in 18 months is like a lot. So, which sounds like a lot. I mean, it's like a lot. You know, the whole birthing process in general is like a traumatic thing. Yeah. So maybe thank you for being here for 18 months. Super amazing. And 15 months is another good one. Is common free 15 months for you? Man, it's kind of crazy to think that we've been going that long. It's not even that long, you know. I mean, we really started the show, like the show was born March 2020.
I don't want to stay so
after COVID.
So say no for now.
And here we are. Hey, May B says, weak, corrupt leadership always results in hard times.
Since there's no
Honk,
sound, I'll
honk,
just
beep,
show
beep.
you guys while he's talking.
Stay strong. We'll.
All right, cool. You subbed to Stream Elements? That's a bot.
Okay. Hey, Mallory had an emergency deal.
Okay.
So I'll be doing
Yeah, I should be done too. I just wrapped up and got my stuff set up for tomorrow. Okay. Did oh, that's today. Are you sure? Matthew Johnson? Should have been today.
Matthew Johnson, second shift.
Sanitation. He hasn't sent attendance yet. Hopefully he didn't. That's fucking sweet, isn't it? Again. Isn't that awesome?
Tactics into something that is illegal. So prosecutors, yeah, I mean, they've got all sorts of discretion with evidence. They investigate evidence and they can assemble the discovery files and stuff. And there's a lot of problems that happen in this process. I mean, this is where a lot of defense attorneys make their entire case is on the evidence, access to the evidence, not actually what the evidence shows. Okay. It's not like, what does the DNA test show? It's more about how did they assemble the evidence and who did the testing and how did they do the testing? And it's all about, of course, you're challenging the results of the test, but it's more about the process by which they produce the result. And so like if they did something, but they have a lot of discretion in that and they can even make mistakes in that. And that doesn't amount to a crime because they've got qualified immunity, which says, well, as long as they're like doing it in good faith and they screw it up, they're protected against lawsuits or prosecutions. So it would have to be something pretty egregious that would go outside the bounds
on some of my other streams
of what is ordinarily acceptable. I was just going to leave the Twitter stream, V, unless there's I can hit yours. Did you drop some comments? Let's hit yours. If you dropped a couple things. Since we're not live on Twitter, I wasn't going to hit Twitter, but let's see. I know you dropped some good stuff. Yeah, I wasn't going to do it since we're not live there. But V's here for mostly peaceful pitchforks and torches. There are some good memes here. We got the Mad Cow meme. Yeah, so here are the memes from V. This is what it was. The Mad Cow meme,
You're freaking awesome,
which is a
Gabe.
fun one. And then I think we had, oh, Big Fanny. Oh, we got Big Fanny's over there. And, oh, Jack in the Box. Oh, Big Fanny and Jack in the Box. And Big Fan. What is this one from?
Let's see how big a file that is.
Big
I may
Fanny
edit
in
it
the house.
down.
Robots?
I may edit it down as just a drop one for now.
That's a movie? That's a movie called Robots? Aunt Fanny? I haven't seen that
how
one.
big it is.
Fred was over there.
96.
TJ Spuds was over
Big
there.
file.
Matthew Reese was over there.
Oh.
Says, so here's a question. With more and more hunter crimes aging, does the failing of the plea agreement even touch him? Well, the DOJ says yes. The DOJ says yes, they're going to keep prosecuting him and that they actually believe a trial is in order.
It's pretty big for.
And we'll see if that happens or not.
Compared to my other ones here.
That's Robots. Big Fanny Robots. Twitter banned Lenny for life. Oh, man. Even the new Twitter with Elon? Can you create new accounts on Twitter? Like, can they connect you? Brian says, Rob, what about prosecutors intentionally and knowingly filing false charges with the intent to tie up a defendant? So this is another interesting concept. And remember how we actually talked about this at one point, and I'm trying to remember what it was. What was that video? Was it the Supremacy Clause? Oh, I can't remember it. But there, okay, remember there's some provision. There's an argument saying that if lower level states are interfering with the federal operations, I think it's tied back to the Supremacy Clause. If they're interfering with federal operations, if lower level states are, filing lawsuits or interfering, they take a back seat to the operation of the federal government. So if prosecutors, well, if they're intentionally filing false charges, that's a crime. Okay, that's malicious prosecution. They'll lose their license. They should be charged with crimes. But they do file things that are not false charges, and they do it with the intent to tie up the defendant. All right, so like once they're in the arena, like once the game starts, and they're playing by the rules. If you're playing a football game, if you're in a wrestling match or whatever you're doing, like once it starts, yeah, you're there to win. So you have intent to tie up the defendant.
Oh, 2 gigs. Holy crap.
Part of the strategy.
Let me see if StreamYard will upload it as a video.
That's not necessarily illegal. And the defense is doing it too. Like the defense is trying to bog down the government.
Let me see what it says.
We used to file all sorts of motions that were just, monster motions and be very aggressive just to sort of overwhelm the prosecutors and just say.
It doesn't even do that type of file. I'll have to switch it to MP4.
Because it's almost a tactic, right? Like
it doesn't.
When I'm practicing law, this is a different strategy. So, Donald Trump's case has dedicated prosecutors and dedicated divisions. So they're not going to get overwhelmed with a bunch of filings. Yeah, flooding the zone. They're not going to get overwhelmed. So this strategy would not work in this case. But when I was practicing, we would go into courtrooms where, like in the city of Scottsdale, for example, I think they had like 9 prosecutors total for the whole city.
100 gigs, I think,
which is kind of a lot.
Are available on that.
And they didn't have, they didn't feel too overwhelmed to me. But they would also, you want leverage when you go in there for negotiating. So you would say, I'm filing this, or I'm prepared to file this. I've got this paperwork. Here's what I'm filing. I'm filing a motion to dismiss, a motion to challenge this, a motion to preclude your witness. Here's my deviation request, which means my client is also an amazing person. So she's also done this. She's, saves puppies and rescues grandmas and all sorts of stuff. And you come in and you deliver it all, right? This is what we're prepared to do. Or
maybe
I have
just
this entire stack, or
let you do 10.
Just give us this deal. Okay. Just dismiss this charge. Make sure this goes away. Here's what she'll do. She'll do this, this, and this. But can we just make this go away? And the prosecutor's sitting there and he's like, I have a huge stack of documents that I'm going to have to read and respond to, or I can just give you this deal. And you get a lot of stuff done that way, right? You get a lot of stuff done that way. But that's not going to happen.
I saw that he was live.
especially if you've got a good relationship with the prosecutors. Can we just get this
Heard some
thing
hokey
done?
things about
Otherwise,
him
and then there
lately.
are other prosecutors. Like I told you guys the story about Seligman, Arizona, which is where
is the
I
live
had a
still up?
lot of battles with multiple judges there out of that court. And man, I just go nuts in that court, file all sorts of stuff. I would make a 30-minute trial for like a criminal traffic ticket, or an hour trial last 2 hours, just because, knowing I was going to lose, but I would just make it. Just ask some more questions, all right, just to bog the whole system down. And then eventually we started to shake things loose, and we started to move the court around. And it was a long effort. It was a very, very long effort. But anyway, I don't know why I'm telling you all that. It's a complicated process, but this situation is totally different because they have their own teams. I mean, Trump's team is not going to be able to do that. His resources are much, much more limited than the federal government's. Okay, they're just going to assign prosecutor after prosecutor, and they're just going to. Their people are just watching his truths all day. So the overwhelm strategy. There's a strategy in criminal defense. I think prosecutors probably do this too. It's called WAR. Okay, WAR. WAR. We're always ready. We have all of our documents filed. Every time you submit something, we file right back that same day. You submit a motion, we submit a motion back in 1 hour. Boom. And you go, what? It's like demoralizing. We're ready for war. We're always ready. So you've got everything ready to go, man. And that's basically, I think, what the government is doing right now against Trump. And his people will start, once they get some information, I'm not sure that that's going to be their strategy on this case. They don't want to be rapid fire. They want to drag this thing out. So they're not going to respond rapidly. They'll respond in due course. Actually, they've already been playing that. They're not doing a war strategy at all. They're doing a delay and deny, which I think is appropriate here. Anyway, so some good stuff there. Now, on the day, what do we have cooking up? The snail strategy, I like that. What do we have cooking up on the day? Let's hit the dockets real fast and see if there's anything that has popped up. Okay, we got some J6 stuff. Stuart Rhodes, the Oath Keepers case. New filing here. Let's see what this is. Sentencing was supposed to come up, but we got an extension of time. Granting an extension of time, the government is seeking restitution. Okay, so this also might come up with Donald Trump. If he gets convicted of anything, they're going to ask for restitution. And
74%.
remember, in the civil trials, this is a criminal case, and so there are different rules around restitution. But the penalties, the awards, Trump has already got hit with $5 million for E. Jean Carroll. But what's the restitution? Actually, the restitution for the government is not even that big of a deal. It's like a couple $1 million. What was the damages? So capital.
Let me see if I can adjust.
It's like $2 million. It's like nothing. It's like tip money. Capital here. I'm trying to find it. Sometimes Bing is just terrible. Why is Bing so terrible? Here it is. What are the total amount of damages here? These are the cases. Every case is being prosecuted. Let's see. Did Ray Epps get charged yet? Oh, no results for Ray Epps. Oh, no. I thought he said he was going to get charged soon. Not happening. All right. Well, I wanted to see what the total amount of damages was. All right. Here's the latest update. How much money? As of August 6, marks 31 months. They keep posting these updates every couple, 6 months or so. $2.8 million. That's it. The approximate losses suffered as a result of the siege is $2 million, $2.8 million. Honestly, Trump should just pay that. Just pay it right now.
Oh, dude, that's
write
great.
a check for it, and then all of the restitution proceedings should be moot, right?
Backups or anything. Last time I did any backups,
so all the J6ers,
2020,
all restitution should be completed.
I sent it to you. I was like, I don't hardly even
all
use
damages, and then they can stop bringing this up.
Yeah, all these other
Man, I'm not
backups
really
are from
serious that Trump should
2020.
pay it. Like, you know, it's nothing. It's like nothing. It's like tip money. It's really nothing. And they keep using that phrase around. It was like billions for Black Lives
I
Matter.
don't know what the hell's in there.
Under the continued leadership,
This was all
based on
desktop to
public
them.
court
Oh, wow,
documents,
there's
look
stuff
at
in
this.
there.
It's still insane. 1,100 defendants have been charged in nearly 50 states. It's a joke. This is a joke. 372 of the 1,100 have been charged with something violent. So a third. Charged with assaulting, resisting, impeding. 140 police officers were assaulted, is what they say.
36% of
372 were violent,
for the total.
so-called, out of 1,100 defendants. My friends, it is such a joke. That is like nothing. That is a Super Bowl weekend. One day, they'll have 372 defendants. Just think about your DUI enforcement efforts, like when they do these saturation patrols in your local cities, when they say, hey, we're going to do Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year saturation patrol. They always get 500 or so DUIs in the bigger cities when they do that stuff. It's hundreds. They get hundreds of DUIs. This is 372 so-called violent individuals that the entire U.S. government, the entire DOJ in 50 states, the entire FBI has been investigating. So I don't know how many attorneys are involved, but let's say you have 100 lawyers who are involved in this case, 100 prosecutors,
stop you.
which I think is probably small for the entire DOJ.
Sure.
That's what, 10 cases a piece, 11 cases a piece
ISP.
for 3 years?
Hopefully you have unlimited on there.
967 charged with just parading. And look, 632 people have already pleaded guilty. Okay, so 2/3 have already pleaded guilty, which means they're done and over. So the government with their 100 or so prosecutors, let's say they have only what? Another 600 open cases. So if you have 100 prosecutors on 600 cases, it's like 5 cases over 3 years. It's all fake. This is all just a joke.
Yeah.
110 people have had trials. Wow, amazing. Over 2 years, 110 found guilty at trials. 26 have been convicted following agreed upon set of facts. For hundreds of prosecutors over multiple years, it's like a joke. But they keep telling us this is, the biggest, most sprawling investigation of all time. It's just infuriating. It's not real. All right, let's do a refresh here.
Tuesday and Wednesday. Yeah.
Hey, True Neutral
For me to have to
says, so did Kaplan effectively and permanently block Trump from countersuing E. Jean Carroll? Or can he get around Kaplan and still sue her for defamation? Well, at this moment, unless he appeals that order, has he appealed it? I think he's precluded. He said no. Yeah, we read through that ruling, and he said no. He said that it was, what was the language, the phrase that he used? It was like substantially similar or something like that. It was digital R. Digital R.
Yeah.
It was a digital R.
Crazy.
Okay, so it wasn't an R with the P. It was an R with the F. With the digital hands, right? So he says, no, she can say that.
I think that's the 99
but it's not actually defamation.
Of OneDrive. Let's see what else.
WTF, the ads to the right. There are ads on the stream? Jason, thank you, Jason. Being a member and sending in a nice cup of coffee. Thank you, sir. Cheers to you, my friend, on this lovely, lovely Wednesday. Cheers.
Yeah.
And then we've got NY says, I think I asked this yesterday. Let's say the Texas AG files a lawsuit claiming interference in 2024, just like 2020. It's part of the Supreme Court's original jurisdiction, so it would go directly to them. You're right about that, but they rejected that lawsuit, right? I think they denied certiorari on it. It was like 24 state AGs or something. And there were ads on this stream on YouTube. I don't turn on monetization when we do this. So it's still running ads. I don't do any monetization. Like I don't turn on the ads or anything on when we do member stuff. Like I try to, part of the members thing, it's like, hey man, I don't want to do any ads for you guys. So I try to turn everything off.
Oh, wait, thanks for editing.
But that's interesting that you're still getting them. Yeah, the live streams you'll get ads on because I turn monetization on for the live streams. So that I would expect, but I actually turn them off. Oh, I turn them off on the member stuff. Yeah, on the live, I mean, like, you know, the live stream it's like that's the job. Like that's where we're, you know, making income to support the show. So I turn it on during the live stream, but for the member stuff, I try not to turn it on. I don't turn it on. So that it's a nice, seamless conversation. Jigam, are you ready to rumble? We will be later. No, we don't have AdSense on the website yet. Maybe we'll do that at some point. Our AdSense on the website is just to push people to locals. And I think it's working, actually. So I think it's great. And we just had a new, we had a new update on the mind map website, I think. Oh, I think, is this, oh no, he didn't, here, let me see if I can grab the link. So, okay, so, you know, we got like the main components of the website up, but I still want to prettify it and make it better and all the things. And so we added some stuff. We're still tweaking this, but we added some like feature benefits, like why you should get the mind maps and sign up for the newsletter. So like we added, like you can follow the map, get links, you know, play the videos, stuff like that. So we're making some progress, making it look a little nicer, working on that. And then, oh, the other thing I wanted to share with you guys was the interview setup. So this is kind of what I've got cooking right now. And this is a work in progress. And there's no lighting on right now. All the windows are closed.
Well,
this is kind of what the scene looks like. And I would love your feedback on it. Because I think what we're going to try to do this Saturday, actually, is do a test run of this setup. So my friend Jeevers is going to come down. And I think we'll record something about some health stuff. So anyways, this is what it looks like. This is it. All right. So this is the scene that I think we'll be seated at. And I got to clean up some of the bookshelves in the back and stuff like that. But that's kind of what I was thinking with. And it doesn't look that good from here, but I'm going to work on it. Yeah. Now that I'm sitting here, I don't think it looks that good. But that's what's on the other side of this room, right? That's what's on the other side of this room. And when I actually clip it, you know, when I actually cut the interview, it's not going to be as like, it'll be zoomed in a bit, but yeah, anyways, so that's what I'm working on. It's cozy and cute. I like it. Just add a flag. It's a good idea. Yeah, I gotta figure it out. I mean, that's what's on the other end of the room, and it is cozy. I'd say it's a little cozy. I think I might also try to do the like the table version, you know, so like people are sitting across the table. What would it look like if you change the angle of the camera? Options are good. Yeah, I'm going to play around with it. So like now that I'm looking at it right here, I actually don't like it that much from this angle. But at least there's a camera now. So like I have a camera up, and the more important part is I have the audio. So I have the audio ported over there. So I have lapel mics. Yeah, it's just the angle, says Sweet Potato. Show less legs and it's perfect. So like maybe if I
all right, let me see something here.
Bring it in closer. Yeah, I don't know. All right, I'll keep playing with it, but I gotta start producing some interview stuff. I gotta work that into the schedule and figure out how to do it. So that's what we've got. That's what I'm working with. B says, raise the camera 2 feet, turn it down about 10 degrees, raise it up and point it down. Maybe go in a little bit. People are more comfortable at a table and facing each other. You're right about that. Maybe I can get a table before this weekend. I have some ideas. It's good ideas. Chairs need to face each other more, or put a coffee table in front of it like a talk show. It's another great advice. Yeah, more great advice. 2 cameras, Brian says, 2 cameras perpendicular to the chair. I do have 2 cameras. So, okay, let me play with that a little bit. Yeah, so like Tucker, like I've been looking at other sets. So like Tucker has a nice, so I watched, I don't know, if you guys didn't watch that Tucker RFK interview, man, that was good. And he talks about biolabs and stuff. It's like, whew. RFK is a sharp dude. But I was I was trying to, you know, steal from other like they're at a table and but he's got a lot more space than I do. I'm kind of a tight spot, but he also has a 3 camera. So like 1 camera on the guest, 1 camera on Tucker. I don't have 3 cameras, but I could do 2 cameras and do like 1 side and 1 guest, which I may work on. So of course it's not working over there, but anyways, we're playing around with stuff. Yeah, 3 cameras. Have the Grim Reaper Lady Justice flag behind you from Spuds. You know, the Sean guy interviews ex-military and others. Definitely a table, says True Neutral. I don't know the Sean guy. Who is that? His is more of a TV style. 2 cameras perpendicular to the chairs. Tucker and Robin. I'd love to interview Tucker. Except I'd ask Tucker all sorts of crazy questions. Like, I want to know about his childhood and about his relationship with his dad. His dad is named Dick Carlson, and his dad has a very interesting career, and he almost never talks about his dad. But his dad used to be the like the head broadcaster, I think, or the leader of like Voice of America, which is very interesting. A lot of interesting stuff there. Anyways, so yes, okay, so we'll still keep playing around with that. It's probably going to be a work in progress. Like I'm probably just going to start recording and then we'll just start publishing and then we'll just keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking because done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. And I've been dragging my feet on this interview stuff for a while, but we're getting close to it. And I want to get something set up because I want to be ready to go for next year, basically. Like it would be very nice to be able to have you know, like when the election comes on, I'm right downtown. There's a lot of activity right downtown. Maybe Carrie Lake comes on by and sits down for a nice interview. So I've got to get that skill set, you know, developed.
I agree.
Now, like we got to get going on it. So that's the process. And if it's not as pretty as it looks, like, you know, it kind of looks. I got some work to do. But
I'm getting ready to kill the stream.
Yeah, Alina Abba. I don't know that that's a good idea. I might just start drooling all over her. It's not good. NY says, yeah, but that was election results. How about a lawsuit claiming malicious prosecution with intent on preventing Trump from running for president? Yeah, I mean, so you're right about that, NY. That would be a good argument. It's still up to the Supreme Court as to whether they accept it or not. I mean, I thought that the Supreme Court should have heard the election thing and told us once and for all what the, you know, can the executive branches of our government usurp the legislative branches? I don't think so. But according to the Supreme Court, not a real big problem.
Yeah, I love it. I love it so far. I'm going to edit it and do it as where I can do
Taco Rack says, Rob, you got to meet Eric and Mark over at America's Untold Stories. So I know Eric. I haven't met Mark, but Eric's great. This is about Tucker's family history. That's interesting. Also, if you're going to do those kind of interviews, you're going to need someone to work the camera controls. Well, V, actually, I've got an ATEM Mini Extreme ISO, which allows me to record all the cameras at the same time as separate feeds. And so you can then edit it in post and do the cuts in post. But you're right. Traditionally, I would need somebody to do all the switching here, but I don't, because I got a very expensive piece of hardware. What's up, Rocky? Thank you, Rocky. Proud to support the efforts. Keep rolling.
Shit went through.
Thank you, Rocky. I do appreciate that, guys. I mean, it's like, this is all with your support. You know, I wouldn't be able to do this without you. So I'm very grateful for it. And I'm trying to improve things. I'm trying to level things up a bit and create more content that can reach more people, to wake more people up, and to help, you know, have an impact on this next election. And I appreciate your help as we go through this. A lot of work ahead. It's going to be a lot of fun. Where's JC says, I build video suites as part of my job. Yeah, TPUSA is so close. That's my next question for you guys. Like, do you know anybody in Arizona who would be a good, interview? Like, are there any other content creators who are here like regularly? Like, it'd be good for me to start building out that network of local Arizona content creators. That's another part of this. But I also want to have something to offer to people. So if I say, hey, you know, Mr. or Mrs. content creator, let's create something. Come on over and interview, right? So I want something to offer. Come on over and let's do it together. So I'm starting to build out the infrastructure for that. And there's, you know, we're gonna have the primaries coming up. Like, we're gonna have, I would imagine, candidates coming through. Maybe I can get Vivek to come by. Maybe I get, you know, DeSantis to come by. I don't think Trump comes by, but you know, I would. If I can establish a pattern of doing interviews, then maybe, I think with Trump, because of Secret Service and all that stuff, like, I would have to go to them, which is fine. I'll just pack up my gear and go over there. Or the King of England. It's a great question, Rye. Do you have his phone number? Can you give me his number? I'll give him a call. Tim Pool. Yeah, I mean, all sorts of stuff. And I think that would be fun. I think it'd be fun to start adding that skill set. Thanks, Cartier. Yeah, Rob, just push the button. You're good to go. That's my plan, Shades. We're just going to start recording, and we'll figure out the rest of the looks after the fact, right? If it's too much legs in the shot, all right, it's too much legs. We'll just figure it out later. I'm getting a little tired of not seeing action on this, but it's also the right time. Like, we're getting some good progress on, you know, websites built, newsletters warming up. We're building some infrastructure. And so now I think it's a good time to start adding in some other content types. And interviews are fun. I actually like talking to interesting people. I mean, I love interesting people. And if I could say, hey, come on over here and have a fun interview and learn something, I think it'd be a good format. I watched an interview of two female doctors. They didn't talk about meds. They talked about tyranny. Yeah, well, it's hard to do medicine when you're living in a tyrannical state. Crowder's in Texas. Katie Hobbs. Yeah, RFK. Like they're going to start coming through Arizona. And I would love to, I'd love to ask these people some questions. I got a lot of questions for these people. Mike Lindell, great thumbnail, says Pyramid 7. Check out Direct D, Arizona. I think I saw, is Officer Tatum, is he here? I thought he was here in Paradise Valley. No, I wasn't on Tim Pool. It would be fun to be on Tim Pool. So can we add in my locals membership from Brandon and consider this 6 months, Broccoli Rob? Add it in. 6 months. Okay, so yes, we can add it in. Yeah, you can add those in. They're additive. Regardless, fantastically smooth sailing in the first trimester from Brandon Lesko. In the first trimester, that's good. Yeah, so I don't even know much about babies. When do you find out the gender? Is it when they turn 18 and they decide with government help? I don't know. Anyways, thanks, Brandon. 10 weeks with a blood draw. 10 weeks, you can figure that out? Wow. So Brandon, we should know the sex now of the baby. Well, we'll figure it out. V says, I'll come there so you can interview me. All right, V, come on over. I'll interview you. Sweet Potato says 10 weeks. What about the governor of Arizona?
Somebody's
Hobbs?
recommending
She's not going to
DirectV
sit down
for
for
him
an
to
interview.
talk to interview.
She doesn't even talk to the media. She doesn't even talk to anybody. Tatum's in Scottsdale. Is that right? He's in Scottsdale? That would be fun. Like, it'd be fun to start connecting with these people and start, collaborating and building out a little circle of friends. Interview my mom. I've definitely thought about this. So I want to interview Joey. I want to talk to my mama. Super fun. All right. And so, my friends, it's been a beautiful morning. Hey, True Neutral says you should consider doing some more walkabouts in Arizona where all the action is. So I'm also thinking about that, right? Like, there will be some stuff, I think, going on in Arizona around election time. And there was so much stuff going on, but I was kind of, in 2020, I was dual tasking, man. I had my law firm going. I was spinning all over the place. And I just didn't have time or resources to do all of the things. So I'm going to have a lot more time and resources now. And I'm excited about that. Should be fun. Yeah, Twice says you need to make a list and start small and work your way up. I've got a list. I've already got a list of people I want to interview. Stephen Sun's on the list. Balaji Srinivasan's on the list. Carrie Lake's on the list. Yeah, Rai T says, Rob, you stopped doing the morning walks. I've noticed they've stopped. Yeah, well, I stopped because it was freezing, and then it's scalding hot again. So it's just been kind of a weather problem. And then we have fun on these. We have fun on these because we can go through all the stuff. No babies in the future, Sweet Potato. No babies. Not anytime soon. V says, let me know when I should brave the airplanes, Rob. All right, well, we'll figure it out, V. We'll figure it out. Whenever you want to come to Arizona, my man. It's not a good time now. A little warm here. Pasobic is in AZ a lot. Yeah, a lot of people come to Arizona. And they're not far either. They're like usually right down at the convention center or something else. And I'd love to interview Vivek. A lot of people. I got a lot of questions for these people. And it should be fun. So I'm already assembling my questions. I've got lists. I've got questions I want to ask people. So we just got to start. We just got to go. Ready, fire, aim. We're ready. It's time to fire. Then we'll aim. So I asked my friend Jeevers, who we have like easy conversations. It's just, we can just talk for like hours. Like we sit down and like 3 hours go by. We're like, what the hell just happened? So I invited him down. I said, hey man, you want to troubleshoot this thing with me? And he said, sure. So we'll talk some health stuff. And actually he's brilliant. So I want to, I'll post a thread about health questions, and he like knows everything. So if you have any questions about any health related things, he's a formulator. He's brilliant. So he's going to come down here. We'll just kind of hang and test the audio and mic ourselves up, and we'll do it live, and we'll just see how it works and, see what happens. And then from there, we'll just keep improving small little bits, 1% improvement every time. And then we'll have a great show. So it should be fun. But okay, my friends. So it is a beautiful Wednesday. It's going to be a busy one. I know that we've got, what is coming up? I've already started clipping stuff and I can't even remember what I started clipping, but it's going to be busy because it always is. And so until then, my friends, interview Dr. Wallach. Yeah, Dr. Joel Wallach. Yes, I want to interview him. I sent the Rubos an interview of Dr. Joel Wallach. Did you guys like that? I love that interview. I thought it was outstanding. Anyways, so Dr. Joel Wallach, I went down a rabbit hole on Joel Wallach, and it's like alternative. Yeah, it's very good stuff. The Rubos got it. Cool. A cold plunge streams, all sorts of stuff. Rai-T, welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Congratulations on your relationship. Shout out to Miss Rai-T, the second half over there. And my friends, it's a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. So we'll have Hunter stuff. We'll have Trump stuff. We'll have court docket stuff, whatever the latest is, later tonight. And so until then, my friends, I hope you're making it a beautiful week, rocking and rolling ahead, grinding through all of the most important things that you need to do. And you'll be back here. Hopefully we'll see you back here later tonight to get into it all again. It's going to be a lot of fun as per usual, and I hope to see you there. And so until then, my friends, make it a great day. See you here soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. I'm gonna kill it, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Got a few things I gotta do before I get on the road. Really appreciate you. Get the song going here.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make.
Yo, I got a lot of shit to say, so I'ma do this every day. I'll be writing things until I'm fucking buried in my grave. 6 feet deep under, but my body won't decay. Cause my messages are timeless, so they'll put them on display. Oh yeah, I rap with a certainty, I have a sense of urgency. A message for eternity, for everyone internally. I had some people burning me, but now they fucking learn to see I ain't the one to fuck with. Now they looking nervously, and I don't really care what you think of me respectfully. You can kick rocks if you think you're fucking better, see. I will outwork you, turn you to an enemy. Hurt you so bad that you're gonna need some therapy. I got the motherfucking recipe. I've been cooking up hits, I'ma leave a legacy. You'll be looking small when you're standing right next to me. I'm 5'10", bitch, but I'm 10 feet.
Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Yeah, I'ma do it my way. Yeah, I'ma do it my way.
I can't contain it, I'm coming out with a statement. You really changed, man, all your music and arrangement. You don't know shit, shut your mouth, you can save it. I'm the same dude that got his come up from the basement. 100 songs, 100 weeks, didn't change it. Experiments, development, intelligence, and patience. I'll do it all again, cause I never feel complacent. Let's keep the good vibes, positivity's contagious. I'm never looking back, cause I made a life that's passionate. A college graduate suppressing all his talents, yeah. He found a way to go and change, become an advocate. For taking control of your life, go out and battle. And you think you have a dream, then act on it. Get after it, get out your head and fucking capture it. You got one life to master it. Don't give up on your future, we all start losers. We're all late bloomers, gotta struggle through the sewer.
What you say? Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build what I want to make. Cause I don't give a fuck what you say. Yeah, I'ma do shit my way. So you can go kick rocks, I'ma stack bricks up, build